exact thing that Kings fans wanted, the Cavs have done. Made it from the first round to the second round. And, that is linear success right there. That is direct from 1 to 2. And you see that even that's a situation that can still fall apart. It's just a cautionary tale that even when things are good, they can still be bad. And it's just, again, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. And, it's definitely something I'm keeping in the back of my mind as I'm somebody who's been promoting Mike Brown as the right choice here and not to be let go. It is a reminder that just because things are going well doesn't necessarily mean that your coach is going to stay, your stars are going to stay, and that things are going to be all copacetic. You see how, literally, this is minutes after the Cavs are eliminated. Shams dropped, or The Athletic, I should say, drops this article and just rips into all the things that are going on behind the scenes. It's again, just caution to everybody out there, but definitely Kings fans who understand that dysfunction is very prevalent in basketball.
Let me ask you this question, and it's summertime. The vibes are right. 916-339-1140. We're opening up the phone lines right now. Let me ask you this question. This goes to you, Chris, and all of our wonderful listeners. Let me ask you this. When is the last time, because the Cavs got Donovan Mitchell via trade, and we've been talking about how Donovan Mitchell has been attached to the Knicks for a very long time, to the Lakers as well to a lesser degree. When is the last time a team traded for a player that was linked to a big market and the player actually ended up staying and being happy in said smaller market, right? You knew, because we were
I don't have that off the top.
We were hearing the Knicks stuff while Donovan was in Utah.
Yeah.
They still make the trade.
Sure.
They get Donovan. We're still hearing Knicks stuff. Now we're hearing Nets stuff, and we're hearing Lakers stuff. The Cavs did it anyway. To your point about a cautionary tale and things being dysfunctional, I don't want the Kings involved with anybody that has ever been linked to a big market, because it's just, they're not going to be happy. It's Siakam, but worse.
Yeah,
but they did it anyway.
That's kind of what I was going to say, is just it's the Siakam situation. It's more just a cautionary tale of, this is why Monty McNair didn't make that move. And there's a lot of people who are very critical and just said, just get it done. Who cares if he wants to be here? He'll be happy once he's here. He'll figure it out, whatever. He's not going to turn down the money. It's just, it's a sign that, sometimes even then Pascal Siakam could have signed and then still been unhappy and still forced his way out and said pretty much, well, I'll get like Zach LaVine, I'll get the contract now and I'll figure out the situation second, because what's important is I'm on this deal, and then I can figure out which team I'm going to go to after. Bradley Beal did the same exact thing, and you see how that situation panned out. So, yeah, I would just say the Donovan Mitchell situation, I don't know if you necessarily have to blanket it and say if they're tied to a big market, they can't do it. Then you're not going to get anybody. Brandon Ingram, all these people are attached to wanting to, or not even wanting, but just attached to big names. Just because they're attached to big names too doesn't mean.
But I haven't heard Brandon Ingram attached to the Knicks or the Lakers.
Not personally, but those teams are interested. So how are you supposed to figure out the difference?
Oh, but there's a line, right? Zion. I wouldn't touch Zion. Because
of the fact that he might want to be in a big market.
But it's been going on for years with Zion and the Knicks and Zion and New York.
Yeah. It's fine. You might need to leverage the situation for what it is. You can turn it into a Carmelo Anthony situation where the Nuggets way back when Melo wanted to go to New York, and they said, all right, fine. We'll get all these draft picks. We'll get Danilo Gallinari, Wilson Chandler, and you can just
but that's different because Melo was there already.
Sure.
I'm saying when we do our free agent list.
Yes.
Anyone attached. But let's say Trae Young, for example.
Okay.
Trae Young, loosely attached. We'll get into that because apparently this Spurs thing was more smoke than fire. But Trae Young, not that I think the Kings would want Trae Young, but Trae Young for me, there's a level of how strong it is, right? Trae Young has been loosely attached to the Lakers, but it's less about the interest, and it's less about the Lakers wanting someone and more about the streets are saying that this person wants to go to a big market. The interest from the other side is fine. It's the guys that it sounds like they want to be in a big market.
Sure. I mean, yeah, I don't think it's going to affect how they play for your team, though.
No, but it means that
it means their days are numbered.
Yes,
for
their
sure.
days are numbered.
Sure.
Their days are numbered.
I mean, the Kings aren't in many of those conversations anyway. I just feel like, those guys are always going to, big names are always going to want to go to big markets. And it's the game you're going to have to play is you got to convince these big names. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's becoming a big name. He doesn't seem to want to move anywhere. It's just, I think you've just got to bet on your situation. I mean, everybody's always going to have desires to be bigger and to grow their star. That can't prevent you from building out your team just because you want small market guys. That's how I feel. Yeah,
no, and I guess it's more about, okay, let's say you trade for Zion, right? And whatever is left on the contract, it's just about how much time is left on the contract, what their interest level is in staying, whatever it is. If you're trading for a guy that has 1 year left on their deal and they've been linked to a big market, then hopefully that is a part of the price tag, right? And the team that you're working with knows that. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, we know there's only this person only wants to go here. You're basically renting them in a way. 2 years, it's a little bit different. But these 1 year guys, if they've been linked to big markets, I'll stay away, Chris. I'll stay away.
Yeah. I'm going to get the talent and worry about the rest later.
That's interesting. All right. When we return, we talk about the Mavs, OKC, and how far can the Mavericks go. Also, talking about an easy path to a ring. Does such thing actually exist? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports. Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Save big this Memorial Day at Lowe's. Right now, save on 1.5-gallon annual hanging baskets. Get 2 for just $20. Plus, buy one, get one 50% off. Select interior and exterior paint and exterior stain via Lowe's gift card rebate. Shop these deals before they're gone because Lowe's knows summer savings. Valid through 5/29. Hanging baskets in-store only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Paint. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. While supplies last.
This schedule release update is sponsored by Xfinity Odds Zone, providing you with a new way to watch live sports, allowing you to get odds from popular sportsbooks on the same screen as the big game.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
We're back. Chris and I, we're still trying to figure out this situation. Pulling back the curtain. We're still trying to
A couple different situations.
understand where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to work through here. But yeah, essentially, we haven't heard. That's the same thing we said. Brandon Ingram, not on podcast. We don't know anything about Brandon Ingram. So it feels safer to me when it sounds like somebody's wants and desires have leaked. I'm a little bit more, I should have just said, if it's from their camp, right? A mutual interest or the Lakers wanting somebody, the Lakers are going to want plenty of people, right? So it's not that. It's just it sounds like this person has, like Donovan Mitchell, and maybe there's just not a lot of Donovan Mitchell examples, but
Right.
it's been so obvious to me. It's literally Donovan Mitchell and Zion. Those
Yeah.
are two guys that have been linked to New York
Right.
and wanting to go to New York. So I just wouldn't be a part of it.
Yeah.
If you're LA, you can say, hey, Donovan, what's the next best thing to New York? LA, that's different.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so all right. Moving forward with the Mavs and OKC.
Mhm.
So now OKC is down 3-2.
Yeah.
And if the Mavs do get it done, there are a couple different things that can really be the fallout of this. Number one, if you're OKC, I mean, you talk about not to get ahead of ourselves and the Cavs blowing up here, and they're going to be a hot topic on this show today because they do have a lot of pieces. But you talk about what OKC would need. You talk about that Jared Allen sweepstakes, Chris, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you've talked a lot about Chet Holmgren. That guy, he can't be your center, right? Or he is, but you're going to need somebody else. Doesn't it feel like if you're OKC, you'd be big in the Jared Allen sweepstakes?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the exact kind of guy that you want to get because, he's not going to be your Brandon Ingrams, your Mikal Bridges. He's not going to cost that much of a haul, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he's a defensive guy. He's a lob threat. And he's somebody that, can bang around with other bigs. So Chet can be on the perimeter and doesn't have to deal with guarding Nikola Jokic like he might have to do. I think that OKC is just in a situation right now where they're too young. And I think a lot of their inexperience is definitely showing. Losing these 2 home games is pretty inexcusable. This is what you have home court advantage for. And the fact that they lose one of the first 2 games and then you have a game 5 at home and you lose that, I think they're good on talent, but I do think that a guy like Jared Allen is the thing that can make them a championship team. Like that really rounds out their team. And Jared Allen's had a couple of years of playoff experience as well, fits their timeline. I think that's really a perfect fit. And they're one of those teams like Utah and, like a couple other teams out there where they have endless assets. So if they really want to get into a bidding war, OKC is going to win every single time.
Yes. Jared, the lights were too bright. Allen,
yes.
Maybe the lights won't be too bright. And it seems like they're too bright for OKC. I want to continue here with OKC because let's say OKC loses. They're done. And now it's almost a different version of the Kings because you talk about that timeline shifting, right? And how fans' minds, the organization's minds, and we know OKC has a bunch of assets, but you're with the number 1 seed. What happens next season if they're the number 4 seed and get bounced out in the first round again? This you could find yourself in a similar situation to the Kings, even though the Kings did miss the playoffs. But it's funny when you get ahead of schedule, your schedule changes. So now that OKC's been a 1 seed, if they get bounced, their fans would have to ignore the 1 seed the same way we've asked Kings fans to ignore the 3 seed.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they legitimately are on the right timeline. Like
You don't think they're ahead of schedule?
No, I think they're right on schedule, as a matter of fact. I think like Shea had been in the playoffs before, him in that Chris Paul year when Chris Paul and I think Paul George was still on OKC. They made the playoffs and Shea kind of got his experience, got his reps through there. Now, Shea's an MVP candidate. I feel like OKC is going to be in this 1 through, maybe they might slip to 4, but I think every year they're going to feel like they're championship contenders. And, with those assets, they have something crazy like 12 or 15 picks, first round picks in the next 3 years. They can literally build a whole team of first rounders in the next 3 years. They literally can't do that. So they're going to have to, at some point, cash in all of those assets to make a big move. And that tells you they're going to want to win now. So I actually think OKC, this is just the start. I think, Chet's only going to get better. Shea's only going to get better. Jalen Williams only in his 2nd year. He struggled in this playoff or in this series. I think he's going to be better for it next year. I think OKC is right there with Denver, maybe even Minnesota, as like this is just kind of the start or the middle of for more so for Denver of what's going to be moving forward.
Yeah, I guess we put too much on the seeding, right? And how I guess the big drop for the Kings being the 3 seed last season and then being the 9 seed. So I guess as long as you're in the top 4, fans are cool with it.
It's just
right?
about being a contender. As
It's
long
just
as you have
about
a
being a
legit
but to
shot
me-
to win. Because
right.
like people get hurt, random things happen to affect your seeding. As long as you can be a 7 seed and still feel like when healthy you can win, I think that's all that really matters.
Yeah, and we're seeing on the Sac Chat. Shout out to the Sac Chat. What if OKC took Zach Edey? I mean, it'd be interesting. They could, right? I mean, they are a team that could do it and just say, hey, why not, and see if we can build around him. But again, they have so many assets, and it sounds like the Cavs are blowing it up. So why not get a proven guy in the league?
Especially when you're win now.
Yeah, like Jared Allen. Even though he's been injured, he really didn't play in this series. I just think why leave it to chance? And that's what the draft is, a chance. Shout out to Simone, by the way, behind the glass. Have to give her a shout out as well in her Kings gear. Yeah, I mean, and as far as the other side of it with the Mavs, they get this done.
Yeah.
The Nuggets look like world beaters.
Yeah.
They've rounded it. They got the rust off,
Yeah.
right? They got the rust off. They said, what we always talk about the meme when the guy's playing the video game and then he leans
forward.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The Nuggets have leaned forward.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can finish it out. It seems like they will. I mean, if there is a team in this playoff run that could challenge the Nuggets, yeah, give me 2 superstars like Kyrie and Luka. And PJ Washington's been playing out of his mind, another double-double last night, but the Nuggets they're rolling.
Yeah, I just feel like Denver at the end of the day is just a better version of everything that Dallas gives. Like Aaron Gordon's a better PJ Washington. KCP is a better Tim Hardaway Jr. They have more depth than Dallas does. You could argue that Denver's star is better than Dallas's star, which is probably the only case in which that could be. And then, Kyrie and Jamal, I could see those two at least playing neutral. Kyrie has been not great these past couple games.
That's another note for OKC.
Yeah.
Because Kyrie, they've kind of locked up Kyrie. He's really been more of a passer than anything else. And it hasn't mattered.
No, absolutely not. I think PJ Washington's like the 3rd leading scorer in this series, something like that. So, I think Denver is just going to be at a different level, and it's going to take Luka averaging like 45 a game, and even then, I don't think it'll be enough because I think Jokic is going to Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford, bless them, they are not going to stand that's 10 fouls every game on Jokic.
I'm gonna miss the chippiness because Luka and Jokic are boys.
Yeah, they love each other.
Even though they won't get chippy, I know PJ Washington. I mean, he'll get chippy with anybody. But I am hoping to keep up the chippiness in the playoffs.
Maybe this could be like a KD OKC Warriors situation where it's like Denver beats Dallas in the conference final, and then next season Luka teams up with.
Stop it.
Yeah. No.
You want that?
No, but it's probably gonna happen.
Let me ask you a
World
question.
domination.
Let me ask you a question real quick.
Yeah.
What would scare you more? A KD return to the Warriors or Luka teaming up with
Not
Jokic?
even close.
Not close, huh?
Not even close.
What if
36-year-old Kevin
What
Durant?
if I threw LeBron on that? Just like what Lonzo said. LeBron, KD, the OG's crew. LeBron, KD, and Steph on the Warriors, or Luka teams up with Jokic in, let's say, I don't know whatever's scarier, either in Denver or
I mean, the fact that Jokic and Luka are both under 30, that's like 10 years of dominance.
Let's just say one next year.
Probably still Jokic and Luka.
Wow.
I mean, they're the two that are in the conference finals. The other 3 went home before the first round.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
I mean, it's a new – those dudes are 30, 36, 39, 35 years old. Those other guys – like this is – look at the last 5 years of MVPs. Like, it's not Steph and KD and
It's
LeBron.
like what Pat Bev
it's
said.
Giannis, it's Embiid, and it's Jokic. Like, that era of guys, like, we're still holding on to them from a superstar standpoint, but in terms of dominating the league, those guys are cooked. Like, it's not their league anymore.
But they team up. Just like Pat Bev said, the next 5 years are mine. And Steph said, aren't you 33?
Yeah.
What scares you more? KD, Steph,
AARP, or you?
KD, Steph, and LeBron on the Warriors, or Luka heading to Denver? It is summer, ain't it? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. A bright and sunny day for this Thursday. Expecting that onshore breeze to stay with us through the afternoon. Keeping temperatures today in the lower to mid 80s. Expect overnight lows down to the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for special offers right now. I'm Coach Doug Christie urging you to visit my friends at Folsom Lake Kia and save big on your next new or certified pre-owned vehicle right now. Visit FolsomLakeKia.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants. Did you know we love country music? Our Bennett's team will be setting up our Country in the Park kitchen to serve all country music fans. We will be grilling and preparing your favorite foods from Bennett's: giant cheeseburgers, chicken or mushroom Caesar salads, and of course our legendary barbecued ribs and fried chicken. Did I mention crispy hot French fries? And most of our meals are gluten-free friendly. We will have a covered eating pavilion, so catch a bite, enjoy a bit of shade, and of course all the great country music with Bennett's. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumberyard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region. Nothing tastes better than a craft beer on a beautiful afternoon. Sunrise Marketplace is transforming the Sunrise Mall parking lot into a backyard hangout on May 18th, featuring the best craft breweries, home brewers, cideries, meaderies, and distilleries, plus food trucks, backyard games, and one of the best events happening this year. Tickets are on sale now at shopsmp.com. Use discount code BREW24 for $5 off general admission. Every ticket helps support Citrus Heights Heart and Citrus Heights Rotary.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Sacramento sports fans, get ready to amp up your summer with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got a lineup that's awesome. First up on May 24th, don't miss Tribal Seeds as they bring their reggae beats to Ace of Spades, presented by Live Nation. And mark your calendar for June 8th when NF takes the stage at the Golden One Center. Visit livenation.com for tickets and get ready for a killer high-energy show. Don't miss music legends Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello with the Imposters on June 12th, and NSYNC and Backstreet artists Joey Fatone and AJ McLean on June 22nd. 2 great shows coming in June to Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then looking ahead to August 4th, get ready for the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, presented by Live Nation. The Sacktown Sports Live Events Calendar, your ultimate playbook for the best shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
The second round. The Boston Celtics have punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 6th time in 8 years.
Chris is trying to convince me that Luka and Jokic would be scarier than LeBron, Steph, and KD. Maybe, and I was talking to Brendan, popped in during the break, Brendan Nunez, he'll be on later in the show, and he asked me how Bryson Tiller was, and I told Brendan, or I was telling Brendan and Chris, maybe I'm just feeling some type of way because I feel washed up because we're at the Bryson Tiller show, and there were just a bunch of kids there. We just felt so old.
Right.
And I don't know why they're there because Bryson's 31 and he's been around for a while. And the only thing I could think of is he had a couple songs that popped on TikTok.
Right.
And these kids, they knew the TikTok songs, but not the OG Tiller songs. So maybe I'm in my feelings about just being older.
No. They're still they're relevant. They're so relevant.
They're still relevant. Maybe I'm in my feels, but Chris is probably right, especially. So obvious question, would it the scarier team would be Luka going to Denver? Is that the obvious answer here?
Yeah, I mean that's I guess I was going to say it's the most likely, but even I guess, Dallas is definitely a place that likes to attract big names. They're definitely putting their name in the LeBron Bronny race as well. So it wouldn't surprise me, I guess, if I know Mark Cuban's not owning that team anymore, but he still has
bench every game.
I'm like, what's going on? Like, did you
Does
sell
it
your
bother
stock
you?
or not? I actually kind of like Mark Cuban. He can be a bit much, as all billionaires can be, but for the most part, it's fine. I did not like him when I was a kid. Like when he was peak Dirk, Nash, Michael Finley, Mavericks, when they were, going against the Kings in the playoffs, definitely was not a fan. But I don't know. He's done a good job of being, if there is a such thing, like a more likable billionaire, I guess.
Well, he's just charismatic.
Yeah, I guess.
And if you're charismatic, you get away with a lot.
I'm sure he's done a lot of terrible things behind the scenes.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, he's at least he cares about the team. There is a line of like, all right, like, do I love Steve Ballmer? Definitely not. But at least I know Steve Ballmer and Mark Cuban like legitimately want their teams to be great, not just our, the Benson family in New Orleans just trying to make money and really don't care about sports at all, or John Fisher, for God's sake. So I would much rather have that owner than, and it feels like Vivek is somewhere in between.
Yes.
Definitely more so leaning Ballmer, Cuban, but he's not completely off the rails.
Let's pocket this when we're in the heart of the summer in July, after the draft, after Summer League. We will do a owner power ranking.
Sure.
We will definitely do a owner's power ranking, and we'll see where Vivek falls compared to all of the other owners. As we're talking about Luka and Jokic and kind of this new wave of guys, where Jokic would fall all time, I guess now and in the future. If they do get this ring, Beams or Beamley on the Sack Chat thinks it's still going to be the Celtics. Let's just say the Nuggets get this ring. So now he has 2 rings, 3 MVPs, and he can stop whenever he wants, and he probably will stop while he's going to be one of those guys that retires, and people could say he could have kept playing if he wanted.
Absolutely.
But the trajectory that he's on, I mean, are we talking top 5 all time? Are we talking top 10? Where do we think Jokic could fall at this point? And not just bigs, I'm talking all players.
Yeah, no, I mean, the reason why I brought this up is because John Hollinger had an article in The Athletic where he essentially breaks all of this stuff down. And so I just want to lay like a ground level just so everyone knows, because Jokic, I think, is somebody who, you were talking about it the other day about your in-laws watching Jokic. I think there's a lot of like sticker shock initially when watching Jokic, where it's just like, yeah, okay, I thought this guy was just going to be Nurkic or something like that, where he's just, okay, yeah, he's a big body, but nothing really special. And then he ends up being this ridiculous talent. And I think people have a tough time trying to figure out where it is because it just doesn't look very conventional. Jokic, with this MVP, became one of only 12 players to win a title. I'm sorry, Jokic last season became one of only 12 players to win a title without an all-star teammate, and is also trying to repeat that this season. Again, one of 12 to win a title without an all-star teammate. He won his third MVP award in 4 seasons last Wednesday, bracketing a second place finish in 2023, putting him in rare company with just 8 others to win the trophy 3 times. So he's only one of 8 to win 3 MVPs. Nobody in Denver's 2023 playoff rotation has ever made an All-NBA team. They have DeAndre Jordan, who made an All-NBA team way back when he was on the Clippers, but not a single All-NBA or All-Star teammate. And Jokic is the only MVP to never have had an All-Star, an All-NBA, or an All-Defensive teammate in his first 8 seasons. He's about to make it 9 if Aaron Gordon and KCP don't make it to a second-team All-Defensive team.
That's crazy.
And so it's the fact that this dude is he's not doing it by himself, but I think it is because Jamal Murray is great, not spectacular, because Michael Porter Jr. is maybe good, not great. Aaron Gordon kind of like, because he has really solid teammates, I think it doesn't get talked about that he doesn't have that true second star this early in his career. Like at this, Shaq had to have Kobe. Kobe was a top 8 player in the league at that point. Jamal Murray is not that. Jamal Murray is maybe, we look at the list, he's maybe 20. I can't think of another star in general who's working with a worse, maybe Shea, you could argue, as a worse number 2. Yeah, it's probably Shea. Shea is probably the only person who is doing as much as Jokic with a secondary star that is not up in the top 15.
Right.
And, I definitely think that's just not really talked about enough, because this guy is pretty much unguardable. I talked about it a lot yesterday. Like, he can give you whatever you're going to give him. So if you're going to focus all your defensive attention on him, he'll just find Aaron Gordon at the rim. He'll find Michael Porter Jr. in the corner. He'll run pick and rolls with Jamal Murray. But if you're going to single cover him, he's going to kill you every single time. And there was numbers that popped up today from Sport Radar that have the one-on-one coverage of Jokic. He is number 1 in the NBA over the past 5 seasons when guarded in one-on-one situations in ISO or in the post at 1.2 points per possession. That is by far the best in the league. DeRozan's at 1.19, actually, and then Dame's at 1.17. He's just the best player in the NBA ISO, and he's one of the best playmakers, if not the best playmaker in the NBA right now. I feel like he's top 15 right now. Like, is Jokic right now having a better career than Kevin Durant? And he's only 26, 27 years old. He's got 1 title, pushing on 2. He's got 3 MVPs, and he's 27 years old. And Kevin Durant had 1 MVP, 2 finals MVPs, but we know that came with Steph.
I don't think you can make the argument for Kevin Durant over Jokic, because there's no way to ignore what Kevin Durant did and who Kevin Durant had.
Sure.
You have to put Jokic. So right now, even if he doesn't get another one, I guess it's a tougher conversation. If he gets another one,
then it's no
not
question.
even a question.
In my eyes, yeah.
But I guess
if he doesn't, then there's a conversation.
Right now, it's a conversation.
Yes.
He gets another, it's cooked
for
Kevin Durant. And I don't even know where Kevin Durant is going to fall. All right. When we return, where will Donovan Mitchell fall? Well, we have some teams that are interested in him. Spoiler alert, it's still not the Knicks. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Got a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
It's Sacktown Sports 49ers insider Emil Fergoso here to tell you about the Sacramento Autograph Expo Trade Night hosted by True Sports Cards, happening at the Fairgrounds in Roseville. Come hang out with fellow hobby enthusiasts as we sell and trade trading cards under the stars at Attaway Pavilion. Trade Night is completely free, happening Saturday, May 18th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. After an action-packed day of meeting your favorite athletes, stick around for a bit. So come on down to Trade Night at the Fairgrounds in Roseville, located at 700 Event Center Drive, Saturday, May 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information, visit sacksportscardexpo.com or hit up Trade Night host Candlestick Sports Cards on Instagram. See you there.
Winter's gone, so there's no excuses for missing out on Sacramento's premier country festival, Country in the Park. It's this Friday and Saturday. Don't miss your chance to see
Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Letch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes,
Brian Kelly,
Drew Baldridge, Brian Martin, Michael Ray,
Ingrid Andress, Priscilla Block,
Chase Matthew.
Tickets are only $46 per day. Buy your tickets now at CITPfest.com. That's CITPfest.com. Or take your chances at the gate. Brought to you by Junior Restaurant and Lounge, Vernick Academy, and Fieldhouse American Sports Pub.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, a first Major League win is always special, especially for someone who's paid his dues. Joey Estes, acquired by the A's in the Matt Olson trade, handful of innings in the big leagues for the Athletics a year ago, made his first start this year in Seattle. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 5 years after he was drafted by Atlanta.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, Brighten up your bedroom or tighten up your home office. It's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
You know, it's crazy. I was going to ask Simone to come back with some Bryson, and you read my mind. You read.
Run me dry.
Is that country Bryson?
Yes.
That's
You're
just
right,
Bryson.
I mean,
That's just regular Bryson.
That
There's
is
no
right.
country
Right. In
Bryson.
case Dave is listening, that is just regular old Bryson.
I've not heard this song.
You never heard "Running Me Dry"?
I
This
have
was
not.
on, what was it? Anniversary.
Insecure.
I think I
Definitely.
only listened
Well, it
to
was definitely on the show
I think I only
Insecure.
listened to the debut album. I don't think I really.
Yeah, this was
deep into
the
Bryson.
album that people will say wasn't good,
What was it?
but
Trap Soul. Trap Soul's the only one.
yeah,
that
well, Trap Soul,
that
that's
was
the biggest
first
one.
Right, exactly.
But real tiller heads will say, nah, you're sleeping on Anniversary or whatever the second one was.
Whatever she wants. Oh no, that's a single. Let's see
Great song
here.
as well.
The second one was True to Self.
True to Self. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it.
Trap Soul was great.
Dave, go
Rambo.
listen to
Rambo got me hyped.
Oh yeah, that was great last night. Thank you, Simone.
Was it really? Oh yeah, I'm sure that's.
Thank you, Simone. You read my mind, and we're trying to read the mind of one Donovan Mitchell, who has been linked now. And Chris, to your point about the Kings and being able to have trade offers ready and what can be done under the table, apparently the Lakers and the Nets already have trade offers ready for Donovan Mitchell. And I'm going to tell you right now, do you remember, and we did this on the show, you remember when the Nets played the Knicks and it sounded terrible for the Nets because it sounded like they were in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
We've already learned this, right?
Right.
Brooklyn is trying to trade for Donovan Mitchell thinking, it's New York, you'll like it here, but what we've learned over these last couple of years is that the Brooklyn Nets, they are not the New York Knicks.
No, they are the Clippers.
It might be worse.
Yeah.
So
No, it might be.
You get Donovan Mitchell, Brooklyn, if you want, and you give up all those picks, that's fine, but he's still going to be linked to the Knicks.
Yeah.
That's not going away.
No. Yeah.
The Lakers, that's one thing. That's LA. That's LeBron.
Sure.
That's the Lakers. I'm sorry, Nets. You tried, but it just never got there.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they gave it a good effort. You know, Mikhail Prokhorov came in and made the dumbest moves of all time and traded for Paul Pierce and KG, got Darren Williams over there, and it did not work out for them. They tried to, get the – I mean, I've never been out to the East Coast, at least that section of the East Coast. I know the New Jersey, New York rivalry runs very, very thick, and, you know, they definitely turn their nose to anything New Jersey, and so I think – part of the rebrand was to get the New Jersey stink off of the Nets, and it doesn't feel like it's happened. It feels like they are just almost like exactly like the Clippers are going to be next season. It's just the team that's forgotten about, but they're in the nicer stadium. And it's like, and even then you could argue, I've heard good things about Barclays, but everybody still seems to say the Garden is still the Garden. So I think the Nets have just done not a terrible job because it was a good effort, but they have not successfully shifted, I think, anybody's mentality about what the Nets are. And after the KD, Harden, Kyrie situation, I don't think any superstar is ever going to think Brooklyn is the place to plant their flag.
If KD's toe wasn't on the line and you get a championships are the only thing that can sway people. If you're in a situation like that, if you're not winning championships, it really just doesn't make a difference. All right, we have audio on the Lakers and the Nets supposedly already having trade offers ready. This is Brian Windhorst on that situation.
I think the most interesting thing that could happen here is that Donovan never indicated that he ever wanted to be traded from Utah, but the Jazz knew he was probably unlikely to stay. I don't think that Donovan will ever say, I don't want to be in Cleveland. So the question is, for an organization and an ownership who have lost players like LeBron, if Donovan just simply says, I love it here, and I'm not going to extend, what do? Do they roll the dice with this team again? Or do they say, no way, we got to take action? And that is a huge potential question coming for June and July.
Well, that was the thing you were saying, though. He hasn't said, I love it here. So that puts them in a tough spot.
He's very savvy. He's very smart and very savvy, and his reputation has been unencumbered, and yet he has already been traded once.
He's reached the point in his career, he will get to the point where he can now choose what he wants to do. That's what players earn, right? They play. He's played out his contract. To your point, he never forced his way out of anywhere. He's not done anything wrong, and he wouldn't be doing anything wrong. To say, I don't want to extend my contract. I want to leave my options open. I want to see next year. I've earned the right to figure out what the landscape is for me. The Cavaliers have a tough decision to make, and if I'm them, I trade him. Because the risk of losing him for nothing is devastating.
Yeah, he could also extend his contract.
Oh, no, if he does that, then there's nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if he doesn't do that, if you just sort of laid out a binary proposition, the third option is he resigns. Well, then there's nothing left there.
I'm trying to walk the line because I don't want anybody to freak out in my hometown of Cleveland. But there are a number of teams that have their offers ready.
Are the Lakers one of them?
They're ready. Of course.
The Lakers?
Absolutely.
The Knicks?
I don't think the Knicks are trying to win this Eastern Conference
Understood.
Series, but certainly across the river there in Brooklyn.
So we'll keep a close eye on that.
My big takeaway from that whole situation and that whole conversation is any team that's interested in Mikal Bridges, if the Nets get Donovan Mitchell, well, that's cooked.
Yeah, right.
That's over because now they feel
They're
like
trying
they'd
to
be
win.
contending again.
Mhm.
So if Donovan Mitchell, if the Nets trade for Donovan Mitchell, you can kiss Mikal Bridges goodbye.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think the thought there is maybe I had completely forgotten until they were talking in the middle of that that Donovan Mitchell's dad played for the Mets, which is the thought of why he wants to go to New York so bad is, kind of similar, I guess, to the Brunson thing, but just, his dad had a legacy there. I think he might have grown up there. So that would be the thought of just get him to New York. It wouldn't matter which New York team because, in a way too, the Nets would be his brand and the Knicks, obviously Brunson's it might be a Steph Curry situation where you're never going to be as big as Brunson if you go over there.
Right.
So that kind of makes sense, a little bit more sense to me, but no, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how involved Brooklyn is in all of these trades because I don't know what their intention is. I don't know, are they going to try and get get a star to pair next to Mikal, and if it doesn't work, go the other way? Or have they picked a direction, or are they a little fluid? I think it's still to be determined. I know they just got Jordy in there, so you could argue that starting completely fresh would be a good idea, or you could do the opposite and say, hey, we got Jordy in here to compete right now and to set a winning culture. If I had to guess, Brooklyn has been pretty aggressive in the past. It wouldn't surprise me if they try and be aggressive again, because let's not forget, come trade season last year, they have a bunch of people who people want on their team. Cam Johnson was a huge free agent that tons of people here in Sacramento wanted. Didn't have a great season, but still a good player. Mikal Bridges, you have Dorian Finney-Smith. You have a lot of good pieces. Cam Thomas, they're going to bring back Nick Claxton. They're going to have a good team if they want to bring it back, and we'll just have to see what they would have to give up to get a guy like Donovan Mitchell.
We continue the conversation on the Cavs and the whole thing blowing up. You want anybody on the Cavs? Can I interest you in a Jared Allen? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Kevin Herter is Sacktown Sports.
Herter's open, steps into three. He's got the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Kevin Herter, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV.
which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So Money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Carmichael Dave here. You know Memorial Day's right around the corner. That means outdoor parties, barbecues, and family gatherings. Now, my friends at Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt and inside the new Amy hardware store in the El Dorado Town Center, they're bursting with beautiful, comfortable outdoor furniture. Now, through Memorial Day, they're going to pay the sales tax on all in-stock patio furniture. We're talking great brands like Kettler deep seating sets, Jensen Outdoor, indestructible Polywood Adirondack chairs, and umbrellas. Now, you all know Amy's. It's your barbecue headquarters, and this year they have 2 of the newest, hottest brands, those beefy Rectet grills and affordable Napoleon grills. And of course, they still carry the great brands like Traeger, Weber, and Big Green Egg. The sales tax is on them now through Memorial Day on all in-stock patio furniture. Amy's Outdoor Living on El Camino near Watt and inside Amy Ace Hardware in the El Dorado Town Center. My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. And Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
We are fortunate in Northern California to have weather that allows us to play golf year-round. On the other hand, that's a lot of time to be exposed to the sun's harmful rays. So just remember to apply the sunscreen. Experts say that SPF 30 blocks 97% of the UVB rays that cause sunburn, and you should apply sunscreen at least every 2 hours. So put it on before you play and reapply at the turn. Apply it evenly and thoroughly. When you use a spray, don't step into the spray because you won't be putting it on evenly. We all tend to get our arms, legs, and face, but make sure you apply to your ears, neck, hands, and scalp, and don't forget the backs of your knees. And make sure you check the expiration date. Experts also say the sunscreen that works is the sunscreen that you actually are going to put on your skin. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Music make you lose control. Music make you lose control.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
So Chris and I didn't talk about this because, to be completely honest with you, we didn't really know what to do with it. but a lot of you may have seen or heard what went down with Harrison Butker and the kicker for the Chiefs and what he said at Benedictine College last week. He had some things to say about diversity. He had some things to say about femininity and masculinity, and he's facing a lot of backlash. And like we said, or like I said, didn't really know what to do with it, right? I mean, it was pretty wild what he said, but now it is coming out that the NFL has released a statement on Thursday or today in which they distance itself from comments made by the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, NFL Senior Vice President and Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer Jonathan Bean said in a statement, Butker gave a speech in his personal capacity. Bean added, his views are not those of the NFL as an organization. The NFL is steadfast in our commitment to inclusion, which only makes our league stronger. Yeah, Chris, the only thing I'll say on this is it was just a bit bizarre, right?
Yes,
it was a bizarre place to say it,
Yeah.
right? We're not going to get into whose opinions this, whose opinions that, but to do it, it just had nothing to do with graduating college. So it was just a bit bizarre to me. And I'll share a story here on these airwaves. It meant something a little bit different at the time than it does now. And the person I'm going to bring up is Bill Cosby. And Bill Cosby actually spoke at my graduation. This is obviously before everything went down. This is in 2013. And Bill Cosby got up there, and this is graduation, right? And Bill Cosby is talking about don't bring home C's and D's when your parents are paying for college. And we're looking around, my parents are there, my sister's there, we're all there. And we're looking around saying, well, Bill, this is graduation. There are no more grades.
Right. It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over now. There's no more school. So yeah, to talk about things, and that was even closer than what Harrison Butker was talking about. So just kind of a weird spot, a weird place to choose, and you give people a mic and you give people some power, and they're going to talk about what they want on their platform. And yeah, I mean, I think that's it. He can't get penalized in any way. It's just how he feels. But the NFL had to come out and release a statement on it.
Yeah, no, I just want to give some context to those who might not know what we're talking about. The comments that he made were, and again, I think that the bigger problem, regardless of how you feel about the politics of it all, I think the bigger problem, like you said, is the stage in which he's doing it, which is at a college graduation. And this is just one of the quotes from his speech. I think it's you, the women who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. Quote, some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first thing to say I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say that her life truly started when she started living her vocation as a wife and as a mother. And again, it doesn't really matter what that's not really what is bothering me about this. It's more just hey, everyone who's graduating college is definitely thinking about, okay, next is what am I going to do with my degree?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and be successful in the field that I just spent all this time and money doing. The one thing I'm not thinking about, and not saying is, there's anything wrong with starting a family as soon as possible, but it's just not at a college graduation. The first thing you're thinking about is, man, can't wait to start the family. It's just a weird time to bring it up. And that's just one of many things that he would go on to say that would upset. Honestly, I think he offended a ton of different. I don't even think it's not even like he fits one agenda.
I'm going for it all.
Like everything.
Yeah. What's crazy is he actually started what you read before he says that. He says, I'm sure you're excited.
Yeah.
To get into your careers and things like that. But basically, hold on. I know you're excited about the piece of paper you have. You don't need that. You don't need that. Trust me. No. What you're gonna do has nothing to do with what you just spent your 3 to 5 years basically, and your time and your money and everything, your effort, that doesn't matter.
Right.
What I think matters, and I'm going to tell you what matters. Simone, I feel like we would be remiss to not let the woman here speak on what's going on here. And I guess your thoughts when you saw and heard it.
My thoughts?
Very corny, very cringe.
That was my thoughts. I saw it circulating and I thought it was a positive thing. I saw so many TikToks, like I wasn't like listening. I was just like, boop, boop, boop.
Right.
And I thought it was a positive thing. And when I actually heard the messaging behind what was being said, I'm appalled.
Yeah.
I'm disgusted.
Yeah. It's
Yeah. And, I saw it's crazy because with the NFL schedule coming out and stuff, I saw
the Chargers.
other radio.
The Chargers did roast him.
Yeah,
he roasted him too.
Sorry if I stepped on that.
No, you didn't. You didn't. That's not even where I was
going.
I was just going with, I saw other people from other media members from Northern California speaking on it, and people saying, you're just mad because he's on the Chiefs. There's some people, and this is a sports show. Don't get me wrong. There's some people that are so locked in to sports that they can't just fathom anything else. And they said to basically Niners media that were speaking out about it, you're just mad because the Chiefs beat the Niners.
Made a field goal again.
Brother, we're not thinking about the Super Bowl right now. He could be on any team.
Right.
I am really looking forward to the end zone saying, end racism.
Yeah.
Get women back in the kitchen.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you can say that. I will not. I will not say that on these airways. My mother is listening. So yeah, that was nuts. Not and great. That is the update from the NFL. They have come out and said, hey,
that's not my man's.
What you do in your free time is on you.
He said that was personal. He decided to do that. We did not tell him to do that.
Not in the slightest, not in the least. So, yeah, that is what it is as we get back to the NBA and the Cavs kind of blowing it up here. So, what does this mean, Chris? Right? And not that Harrison Butker, he won't get fired, but apparently JB Bickerstaff may be fired. What does that mean?
He will no longer have his job at the end of the year.
But what does it mean when something leaks that he may be? Couldn't anyone may be fired?
I think it's just getting you ready for what's going to happen. I think it's just, hey, we can't say literally 5 minutes after the game he's fired, but it's we heard the same thing about Darvin Ham. We heard the same thing about Frank Vogel.
Right.
And both those two are chilling with us at home. So it's like, I think it's just the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
If I can't think of anyone in the history of ever who's like, you might get fired. Publicly, we're stating you might get fired. After a couple days of thinking about it, yeah, actually not. We just wanted you to get scared. Like he's
Who
done.
leaks
He's
this?
cooked. It's probably just some information that gets told from assistant GMs or anybody to shops. People talk.
They are processing that boarding pass. That's the way I like to think of it.
If you think about
it's the same way we found out Mike Brown's contract is, Mike Brown's not on steady flooring right now.
If you think about that team, though, does JB Bickerstaff deserve to be fired? Did he really? Did they terribly underperform?
Last year, I think so, but not this year.
Yeah.
I don't see how it's his fault. Maybe they're upset at the development of a guy like Evan Mobley. Like, he was the second pick in the draft. He definitely has not played like a second pick in the draft. Maybe it's just the Donovan Mitchell. He's shooting a ton, but I think he would argue it's because the teammates around him don't seem ready. Maybe that's a problem, that the guy that you traded for seems like he's at a certain level, but everyone else who's been there and grown there hasn't really gotten to anywhere near the level that needs to be. So it could be a development thing. Like I'm not super familiar with everything that's going on in Cleveland. So I'm sure it's some internal stuff. It usually always is. A lot of this stuff does have to do, especially when the results are there. It's not even necessarily about the coaching. It's more of the relationships with everybody. He might be a bit of a tough coach. Like he might be hard on his players, and maybe they feel like they need a looser environment, or it could be vice versa. Usually these things aren't just about the X's and O's or about the results. It's about a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, which we'll eventually find out about. everything eventually comes to light.
And now there's more here. You just cannot get out of this. Now Garland's camp, or somebody is coming out from Garland's camp saying that Rich Paul, if Mitchell is back, then Garland wants out.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, this was from The Athletic this morning. Rival execs believe the Cavs will have to seriously evaluate the fit of Mitchell and Garland and, quote, ultimately may have to choose one or the other. Should Mitchell decide to stay long-term, sources briefed on the matter say Garland's representation, Clutch Sports CEO Rich Paul, which has to get a shout out for some random reason, would have a conversation with Cavs officials on, quote, potentially finding a new home for the one-time All-Star. I don't know if I've ever, maybe since Kobe and Shaq, heard, if he's here, I'm not.
Right.
That's crazy in the NBA. You don't, in the most buddy-buddy league, maybe in the world, these fools are actively saying, if he's not here, if maybe Draymond, Jordan Poole, but even then they were able to figure it out and at least play for half the season or however long it was before Poole got traded, or a full season. I mean, I've never heard in recent memory, at the very least, of a situation where somebody is saying, I do not want to be here specifically because of him. And I don't think it's necessarily a personal thing. It's probably more of a Donovan is essentially in the role I want to be in. But if it's bad enough to come out and say that, it's probably semi-personal as well.
But the thing about it is, you have to know your role in this league, right? And we talk about delusion a lot on this show, and everybody has to be a little bit delusional. A lot of these athletes are. That's why they are where they are. But to me, Darius Garland, do you think you're a number one?
No, but I think he probably feels like, I mean, I joke about it, but I do think Donovan takes a lot of shots, and it might just be like can I get 5 more?
Because I'm looking at him.
Like, you could look at Brunson. Like, I mean, Brunson was in a similar situation where he's like, I feel like I can have a bigger role, and I'm not going to get it because you have this guy that keeps taking all of the shots, and I don't see a future where if this guy's here, he's going to relinquish any of his role. And I feel like I might not feel like I can beat Brunson, but I feel like I can be better than what I'm showing right now, and I just don't see that role for me here.
I think the comp would be, or I think the comp that you let Rich Paul tell it is, he probably wants a Tyrese Maxey situation with a big, but to me, you're not that. I think you need another guard or somebody else, another scorer. I don't, because and the Sixers are at home, so they need somebody else. They want Paul George. So I'm trying to figure out where Darius Garland would fit. If I look at the Kings just for fun, and this is the first time I've really kind of done it, I could convince, if Malik walks or something like that, I could convince myself, but
I think he's more of a true point.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really small. He's 6'1", listed at 6'1", and as we
that's
learned
5'9" without shoes.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's more to Garland. I mean, he's been at 20 points per game the last 2 years. He dipped back to 18 this year. I feel like he can be a nice 2A option. I just think, again, with Donovan Mitchell being the other guard there, I just feel like he's not getting nearly enough touches that he needs to get. And I just don't see it happening if Donovan's there, and I don't think he does either.
Continue the conversation. There's more Cavs drama, and this leads to a big man's availability. Sacramento, will this name interest you? Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
This report is sponsored by Xfinity Sports Zone. Fans can personalize their live sports viewing experience by watching multiple games at once and easily finding their favorite team and stats.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments. And after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
"48 minutes ago, Bleacher Report put out an article saying that Donovan Mitchell grew frustrated with some teammates, lack of maturity, focus, playoff level readiness, and a willingness to listen." 48 minutes ago. 9 minutes ago, Donovan Mitchell quote tweeted it and said, "Yeah, I," with a hat emoji that's cap. And I had to learn this from my little nephew. Cap means that you're lying or not telling the truth. So he says, "Yeah, I, Cap, I'm sick of y'all sometimes." So Donovan Mitchell is saying that's not true. And when I said that to you, Chris, during the break, you said it's damage control, basically.
No, yeah, he just doesn't. I mean, Windhorst kind of said it there. He just doesn't want to be the bad guy.
Well, nobody wants to be the bad guy.
You know, some people are more okay with it than others. Some people are obsessed with keeping a clean image and making sure that nobody's ever upset at them and things like that. And I think Donovan's one of those guys, and it's fine or whatever. But there's extremes like Russell Wilson and things like that. I don't think he's like that, but he clearly doesn't. He wants to leave this situation and have clean hands. And sorry, but the reality of the situation, you can ask Dame. You cannot ask out of somewhere and have things be quiet. Like their fan bases get upset. Cleveland's got to justify it to their fan base. Cleveland has to make it seem like they exhausted every option to keep him. They have to make it seem like this is just, he forced our hands. There's nothing. We would love to keep a talent like Donovan Mitchell, but he's forcing us to get rid of him. And ultimately, I think that this is all a PR game at this point. And, Donovan wants out, and I don't think there should be anything wrong with that. But I don't we'll see what ends up happening, but I just think there's too much behind. And it makes sense. I mean, you watch Donovan play, he clearly does not trust his teammates. I just think he's lying to us. I just think that he wants out, and he probably did say that to somebody, or his agent or somebody, his friend said it to somebody. And I just think it's true. It sounds true. It makes sense. It all tracks. And with everything else going on, I don't know if he's wrong. I don't know if I blame him. So I would just own it. But, I get it. He's came up, he went to Louisville in Kentucky, got drafted by the Utah Jazz. Now he's playing for the Cavs. He's not trying to upset these fan bases. These fan bases are really loyal, and there is something to having a place to hang your hat on at the end of the day. And I do think Donovan's trying to make sure that everywhere he goes, he's loved, and I can't really blame him for that. But he's just lying right now.
More drama, and this connects back to the Kings, who have been in, I guess, not in conversation, but their name has come up when it comes to Jarrett Allen, and he could be on the move as the Cavs probably look to blow this thing up in some capacity, maybe just building with Mobley and assuming Donovan is gone, Mobley and Garland, and going from there. So Jarrett Allen is dealing with some type of drama because he took an elbow and got by Wagner and got hit in the ribs, and frustration grew among members of the team because he refused to take an injection that would numb the pain and allow him to play. His body, his choice? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dicey situation for sure, where you never want to question if somebody's healthy or not, but it is the playoffs, and especially when the Cavs are kind of in these dire situations, these win or go home games. there's always going to be that pressure of like, we experienced it with Malik too. Everyone's saying, Malik, like, you can't come back. The fall didn't look that bad. Are you sure? Like playoffs, play in, maybe you can. It's just what happens when your season's on the line and people, they dance the line of hurt versus injured. And, if they're saying that it pierced a rib, that sounds pretty serious to me. It's easy to say, oh, just shake it off, play through it, take the injection. But, you see a situation like Joel Embiid where he's playing through an injury and getting, injections and things, and half of his face was immobile. So I think if Jared Allen wants to, take care of his body, take care of his career, and not risk further injury, I'm not going to bag on him. Like, Andrew Luck retired over a rib injury. His ribs pretty much collapsed on him. Not that that's going to happen in basketball more than likely, but you never know. You catch another elbow, maybe it pierces a lung or something. Right. Scary things can happen. There's no reason if he was truly hurt, especially with something like ribs where, Alan, I don't know if you've ever hurt your ribs, but it's one of those, obviously, in your core. When you hurt something in your core, you can't do anything. It hurts to sit, it hurts to sneeze, it hurts to get up. Every single thing you do, every step you take hurts. So I'm not going to bag on him for having a hurt rib, but I understand why fans would get riled up about it, but that doesn't mean that they're right in it.
Yeah, and look, I mean, it kind of is reminding me of the whole COVID thing in a way.
Sure.
And there was the whole situation where, hey, did you get the poke or did you not? I mean, if there are other guys that have been in the situation and they did it, I could understand why they're saying, hey, man, we're dying here. Can you help us out? But if Jared Allen felt like he didn't want to do it, he didn't want to do it. I mean, that's something to keep in mind for anybody that is interested in trading for him, that there are levels that he's not willing to go to. And you can think about it like this too, Chris. Maybe he's looking at it thinking maybe he would have got it if he thought that they had a chance. Maybe he's looking at, we got the Celtics.
Series,
we got the Celtics, man. We're not a championship team. I'm not doing it. Right now, he can never say that, but maybe that's. But
if the situation's as dysfunctional as it seems, like,
Why?
Yeah. Why? Would you be excited about stepping back on the floor with all of these other things going on? No.
So now he might be made available, right, via trade.
Mm-hmm.
Is that somebody that would interest you with the Kings? And you know what my next question would be, what's the cost that you're willing to pay?
So. I don't think it makes sense for the Kings. I just don't get the putting a big plotting center next to Sabonis. I get the Kings need rim protection. Yes, that is absolutely a fact. 100% true, but I don't think you can do it in that fashion because you're essentially just killing all of the spacing and all of the movement that makes you who you are. It's just in today's NBA, the reason why Minnesota is able to play the way they can with Gobert and Towns or Naz Reid is because Cat and Naz Reid are some of the best shooting bigs. If you ask Cat, he's the best shooting big in the world. And the Kings don't have that. Sabonis is not that. And so they couldn't run their offense in the same manner with Jared Allen there. You can't have, we've talked about it too, you can't have three non-shooters on the floor at the same time. You can't have De'Aaron Fox there. I'm sorry, he's still a 36% three-point shooter. I'm not considering that good enough to justify having two complete non-shooters in Sabonis and Jared Allen out there. Just doesn't really make sense. I get the rim protection thing. I get the talent thing. He would definitely help this team. I'm not saying he wouldn't. I just think that ultimately you wouldn't have the most fluid team to take you through the playoffs. You'd be a really good regular season team just because of the talent influx, but come postseason, you would have to pick one. You cannot play Fox and Sabonis at the same, Sabonis and Jared Allen at the same time in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I mean, it's all about, and I do think it's a worthwhile conversation because so many people talk about just move them to the four. One of these days, we're going to go through all of the playoff teams and who their fours are,
yes,
right? And who their fours are compared to who their fives are, and the spacing that allows or does not allow, and really have a conversation about whether Sabonis could or could not be a four in this league. And it might come up now at 11:30 here. We are breaking down what we've seen in the playoffs and what it's made you feel about the Kings. Do you feel better about the Kings? Do you feel worse about the Kings? What have the NBA playoffs made you feel about your Sacramento Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
This schedule release update is sponsored by Xfinity Odds Zone, providing you with a new way to watch live sports, allowing you to get odds from popular sportsbooks on the same screen as the big game.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard, aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
There is a different vibe at night at the Hagen Oaks Range, powered by Top Tracer. It's more relaxed, with golfers and newbies side by side enjoying the technology used on televised golf tournaments. Play a variety of fun games. Play Pebble Beach. Compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Or treat yourself to 9 holes on the Mackenzie putting course. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. And don't forget to check the summer-long free concert schedule at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue and Cap City Freeway.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/SacktownSports1140.
or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Watching the NBA playoffs, does it make you feel better or worse about your Sacramento Kings? Do you feel like if they just got in and they were healthy, they would have had a shot? Or does it feel like they would have got ran quickly? And what they need to add this offseason via trade and or free agency. 916-339-1140. All guests and callers join us on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's get to Casey. Wants to be a part of the conversation in terms of Kings and free agency. What's up, Casey? What you got for us?
How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good.
Now, you asked the question about how we feel about the Kings while watching the playoffs.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I actually feel worse about them, mainly because I see guys like SGA, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Jokic, and I can see it's De'Aaron Fox, and I think that he could get to that level. But I'm going to be honest, he doesn't have that type of aggressive takeover type mentality, and he settles a little bit too much on the jump shots. Whereas these guys are always in attack mode. They never stop. They're better. Frankly, I think they're better leaders than De'Aaron Fox. And I'm just wondering, can De'Aaron Fox reach that type of level? And also, what do you think about the team maybe going after a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein in New York? I think he fits kind of exactly what they're looking for in terms of a backup center, a great rebounder, a great rim protector. So what do you guys think about that?
No, thanks for the call, Casey. Great stuff. Let's first address Hartenstein, because I think that will be quicker. I think because he's going to be a free agent, Chris.
Yeah, he's a free agent going into this offseason.
I think he just has maybe priced himself out. Do you think it's to the point, Chris? Do you think he's played himself out of the backup role? Would somebody see Hartenstein and say, I think that guy could be a starter for us, or do you think he's a high-level backup?
I am not sure. I think I could see somebody convincing themselves that that's a cheap starter, but the problem is I don't know how cheap he's actually going to be. Like, it makes sense if, Isaiah Hartenstein's a bargain discount guy that we can go after. He's making $9 million this season. The MLE this offseason is 12.9. I think at the very least he's going to get the mid-level exception, and I just don't think that that's something the Kings can do. I feel like they have bigger needs than backup center, because he would be the backup center for the Kings just because of the Jared Allen conversation we just had. I love him as a player. I mean, his hustle, what he's shown in this playoff series or just this playoffs in general has definitely been eye-opening. I think every team in the NBA should want a guy like Isaiah Hartenstein. I just don't know who's going to be willing to pay him and what role it'll be, because he's clearly showing he's capable of being a starter, but at the same time, he's not giving you points. He had one game where I think he had like 9 assists, but he's not known for his playmaking necessarily. So I'm not quite sure what exactly you're signing up for. And if you're going to be paying him starting to get towards $13 to $15 million, you'd kind of like him to do more than just be a really good rebounder.
Yeah. And offensively, he doesn't really have a bag. That's not really him. I mean, he's similar to a Nurkic or one of those guys, and Nurkic might have more in his bag offensively. So I agree with you. I think that he's a good player, but I think he's going to be not that expensive, but too expensive for the Kings.
You know where's a good fit for him, where I don't think they have, they would not have the money to make it work, is Golden State. He would be like a really good center for the Warriors. He's just like a bigger Looney almost, where it's just like he knows what his role is. He's not going to try and do anything else, but he's just going to be physical, tough. He's actually 7 feet, so they can actually get some size out there. That would be a really good fit for him in Golden State. Thankfully, since they're so far over the luxury tax, they don't have access to the MLE, the biannual. They don't have access to anything, so they definitely can't get him.
Yeah, Looney is a tough one, and Golden State fans are always going to have a place in their heart for Looney, but I feel like the Looney experience, and maybe they just keep up. I think Trace Jackson-Davis essentially took those minutes, right?
Yeah.
And will probably continue to. I just think the time has run out for one Kevon Looney. From Beamer, Beams, or Beamley, Chris, talking about if you feel better or worse about the Kings watching the playoffs. They say, way worse. We got leapfrogged by OKC and Minnesota. Dallas used this as a regular season boost to climb the standings, and prime age teams are advancing. Watching the playoffs, does it make you feel like the Kings are closer than you thought, I guess, going into this season, or farther away than you thought going into this season? I got to be honest with you, Chris, and, we try to stay optimistic on this show. It's a confusing one for me because the Kings weren't healthy at the end, so it's hard we don't know how things would have ended, but I feel like there's certain teams that make you feel better about it and certain teams that make you feel worse. I feel like watching the Nuggets kind of cook and the Minnesota series, I probably feel worse about it, but watching OKC and the Mavericks, I probably feel better about it, if it makes sense. I just feel like, and maybe that's just because the Nuggets and the Timberwolves are just better than those teams. I don't think they're that far from OKC, and I don't think they're that far from the Mavericks, but I do think they're pretty far away from the Timberwolves and the Nuggets.
Yeah, I think I feel about the same. I don't know if I feel any different. I will say something that I'm paying attention to more now than last year, I think, is just watching the players that are in these games and just trying to say, okay, the Kings player in that role would be X. How many players do the Kings have that I can envision playing? And just as the playoffs go further and further, and more so, especially once you're in the finals, looking at the guys who actually can end up on the floor and figuring out, okay, how far off are the Kings from having a semblance of this? To me, and I'd love to get your thoughts on it, when I watch these playoffs, these are the guys that I think, okay, I could see this player out there for any of these teams. Obviously, De'Aaron Sabonis, for sure. I think Keegan could be out there for any team. But let's just use Denver. We'll just use the top two teams, Denver and the Celtics, just to keep it easier and to keep it more direct. I could see Keegan playing in the Michael Porter Jr. role. I could see him. He's going to start for Denver.
Right.
Celtics are a little bit of a tougher situation, more so fit for him, but Keegan's getting minutes playing for either one of those teams. Malik, I think, is getting minutes for Denver, probably as a sixth man. We've had that conversation earlier this season. What would Malik's role be on a championship team? I feel like on this Denver team, he would be the sixth man, but have a similar kind of feel as he does here in Sacramento. I think he would play for Boston. This is obviously where the line kind of starts to get drawn after those four. I think I can see Kevin Huerter out there. I don't know if I can see Kevin Huerter in a starting role out there, which is, again, a conversation that we had earlier this year. But I think Kevin Huerter is a playoff player. I could see him easily playing 15 to 20 minutes. I think his defense is going to be the thing that dictates how much he plays. I can't see HB out there. I can't right now. Like, it's the inconsistency that I just couldn't sign up for. It's watching Tobias Harris. It's watching some of these guys float in and out. And there's players that I know are playing better than Harrison Barnes has played that are disappearing in these playoffs. And it just makes me say there's no way HB wouldn't just do this in the playoffs. And really that's where my line completely stopped. Davion, like, maybe he can steal a couple minutes, but I don't see him playing over Peyton Pritchard. I don't think I necessarily see him backing up Jamal Murray. Keon Ellis maybe can get some minutes. You see Peyton Watson and Christian Brown get minutes. Maybe that's kind of the Keon role there. But besides that, I don't see, I can't imagine Sasha out there right now this season. I couldn't imagine Duarte out there. Alex Len, even at this point, might have given the most that he could use by the second round. So, I mean, that's 4 players, maybe 5, possibly 6, but definitely no more than that. And, I think that tells you that you probably need to add two more guys just to feel a little bit better about having an actual rotation, unless you just want to play like the Knicks and run your 6 guys 40 minutes a game.
Yeah. And that's a great way to break it down the way you did. I think the issue is one of the guys that you did not name for the Kings is a starter, right? When you go to the Sashas of the world, it's
of course.
Fine. There's guys that aren't getting time, that aren't getting a lot of time. But when one guy is literally one of your starters in a prime position like the 4, that's a problem.
It's a big problem.
That is a problem. We will continue the conversation when we return. We see some texts, some calls that we will get to. Also, Shaq leaks that the NBA is scripted. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, a first Major League win is always special, especially for someone who's paid his dues. Joey Estes, acquired by the A's in the Matt Olson trade, handful of innings in the big leagues for the Athletics a year ago, made his first start this year in Seattle. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 5 years after he was drafted by Atlanta.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Restaurants. Did you know we love country music? Our Bennett's team will be setting up our Country in the Park kitchen to serve all country music fans. We will be grilling and preparing your favorite foods from Bennett's: giant cheeseburgers, chicken or mushroom Caesar salads, and of course, our legendary barbecue ribs and fried chicken. Did I mention crispy hot French fries? And most of our meals are gluten-free friendly. We will have a covered eating pavilion, so catch a bite, enjoy a bit of shade, and of course, all the great country music with Bennett's. Find us on the web at bennettsrestaurants.com.
Gonna feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At Progressive, we know money can't buy you happiness, but money did help you buy an RV, which means an excuse from working Saturday with your insufferable coworker, Dave. So money is helping you listen to birds chirp instead of Dave chirping about how his toddler is fluent in 3 languages. And it's also why you'll be smelling pine trees in the air, not Dave's tuna melt reheating in a microwave. So save money by bundling your RV or boat insurance with home or auto from Progressive and buy more happiness, or something close to it. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Mega Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose
choose from. Exclusive, all in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. N6324.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
The conversation continues. We wanted to get to the first part of Casey's call because it was such a good call about De'Aaron Fox. And we kind of did this last week. Is De'Aaron Fox elite? It's a different version of that. And what level of elite is De'Aaron Fox? You know, Chris, I guess I don't really question De'Aaron Fox. I feel like at the beginning of the season, and maybe this is another conversation, there were definitely times where you felt like De'Aaron Fox was taking a back seat or waited a little too long to become involved. I think that we didn't see that at the end of the season because he had no choice with Malik Monk out, with Kevin Huerter out. He just didn't have a choice. But yeah, so I don't really have an issue. I didn't have an issue with De'Aaron Fox's aggression later in the season, but I think maybe I didn't have an issue because the guys were out. Because there were times where I had an issue with De'Aaron Fox's aggression when Malik Monk, when they were healthy. So I guess to Casey's point, we know when the backs are against the wall, he'll be aggressive, but we need to see more of that when their backs aren't against the wall, so their backs don't become against the wall.
Yeah, I think the problem isn't necessarily aggression for me. It's more just shot selection. Like we talked a lot, especially, that last game, 4 for 16 is still stuck in my head from 3. I just think, I think when you watch a guy like Shea, and I think this is kind of what Casey was getting at in the call, when you watch Shea play, there's no settling. There is no, it would take a lot to get to the rim, so I'm just going to pull up on this mid-range jumper. It is being tenacious in trying to get to your spot, and I don't know what it was. Last year, De'Aaron was excellent at getting to his spot. Every single time, everyone knew the reason why he was the clutch player of the year. He got to that left side of the free throw line and would pull up every single time, and it was cash. This year, he just wasn't able to get to his spots with the same efficiency in the same way, and I don't know why that is. He's got to get back to attacking the rim more. That's the one thing about Shea's game. I know we talk about it all the time, but the fact that he just is relentless getting to the rim and isn't afraid to get fouled and go to the line, I think that's what De'Aaron needs to do, is just understand, look, it'd be one thing if you can be a good shooter, but at the end of the day, that's a counter. You have to be great at attacking the rim, and then everything else will fall into place after. And it felt like he got a little far away from that this season and started to fall in love with his jumper a little bit too much, where I think his bread is really buttered around the rim.
Do you think it was, as people have brought up, you're not sneaking up on anybody anymore? Do you think it was a scouting report situation where now De'Aaron needs to counter the counter? Did defenders know what he was trying to do, and now De'Aaron has to get back in the workshop and now counter that people know what he likes to do? Or was it just did you not see that? It just felt like for whatever reason he wasn't getting there.
I think he would just tell you he just wasn't making shots. Especially De'Aaron. De'Aaron would definitely give you the most bland, and he'd say, no, sometimes shots go in, sometimes shots don't. And shots didn't go in this year. They went in last year.
Exactly. That was a great De'Aaron impression.
And he would be mad. He'd give you some attitude for it. You were the dumb one for asking the question. And it's like, okay. Anyway, sorry, don't miss that. But anyways, I do think that he would be right in saying that, though. I do think that it's just a matter of, hey, for whatever reason, shots just didn't go in this year. You could say it's that he focused maybe too much on extending his range and getting to the perimeter jumper, and instead of just continuing to refine those mid-range skills and make sure that that's much like the Kings. You lay down the foundation. You almost want to double down on the foundation before you then build on that foundation. Felt like De'Aaron was like, okay, cool. I was ridiculous at attacking the rim last year. now it's time to leverage that and use it for something else. And it's like, maybe it would have been just good to continue to do that and then let everything grow from it. I hope next year he reverts back to it, but I do honestly just think he's, I don't want to say fallen in love with the three, but with the amount of times that he would pull it and it wouldn't necessarily just be an open look, I feel like he's trying to make it part of his game. And I just don't necessarily agree. And sometimes that happens. Like Celtics fans complain about Jason Tatum all the time with his shot selection. They say Drew Hanlon's step back murdered his career. And he spent some time with Kobe, when he was early in his career, and said Kobe made him fall in love with the mid-range jumper. So I think it happens sometimes that these guys, this is kind of the downside of the trainer era of basketball. Not that I think De'Aaron does that. He spends a lot of time with Luke Laux, but I think De'Aaron needs to get back to what made him great.
Yeah, I mean, you have to expand your game, but it's really just how far do you want to expand it, and should you just do something until it doesn't work anymore? It's funny, Chris, and music is on my mind. It kind of reminds me of a musician in a way.
Oh yeah, for
right?
sure.
And we do this thing, fans of music, where you want to see growth by your artist, right. But then at the same time you say, I miss the old version of this artist. And then the artist, sometimes artists will say, y'all said you wanted, we want
Stop
to
playing
grow
the same stuff. Right.
Yeah, but then you don't want me to grow. So where is the line? Ultimately, where is the line from, hey, Johnny K, I like what I've seen from the Kings this year with everybody being healthy on other teams this year versus last year, and the Kings still hung with all of them. I think if we would have had Malik Monk and Herter at the end of the year, we would have went a lot further. We played all the top teams in the West is the best, so we could have went a little farther in the playoffs, in my estimation. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've kind of talked about fantasizing what the Kings were when they were healthy.
Yeah.
There's some bad losses when they were healthy.
A lot of bad losses.
There were some bad losses. Yeah. And if the Kings were completely rolling, sure. But we saw some bad losses when they were completely healthy. So I think I'd like to believe that as well. But at the same time, we saw some bad stuff. From UPS Chris, happy Friday Eve. There you go, Chris. Shout out to Friday Eve.
Thank you for listening.
I really think the Kings need to upgrade the Barnes spot in the starting lineup. That was the thought last year, and standing pat went nowhere. One of the couple moves the Kings really need to make. I wouldn't mind Barnes off the bench, but that can't happen at $18 million a year.
Yeah.
It's all facts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've talked about it, but I think it's just this offseason is going to be one where one of the starters has to go. And obviously it's either Kevin Herter or Harrison Barnes, but they have to. I would think, I use the term have to, but I do truly think it's a necessity for this team. I'm not trying to just use it as a hyperbole. I really do think that they have to try and improve at one of those spots, just because there's no way you can run that same starting five back and realistically convince not only the fan base, but I would think even internally in the locker room that you're going to do anything different. I mean, if you're just going to hope, because what's the goal? If the goal this season was, okay, we're not going to win a championship, but hopefully we hope to make some noise, I don't know what your goal for next year would be. I don't see how, no matter how much optimism you have about what this team would have been if they were healthy, I don't see how you could say, just a piece here, a piece there, and then we're on title contention. I think that there has to be some sort of not major shift, but just there needs to be something that's clearly different about the Kings next season than this season.
Let's get to TC, who wants to be a part of the conversation. 916-339-1140. What's up, TC? What you got for us?
What's up, bros? Alan and Chris.
What up, TC? How you doing?
I'm all right. Just vibing.
Good.
In with y'all. Hey, so look, hey, it's kind of simple. I got a few points. So first and foremost, there ain't no excuses for Monty. With all these disgruntled stars, this is what everybody was talking about. The Kings, even Monty, we want to sit back and be pat and have our war chest board ready for when we got to strike. Well, this isn't summer to strike. We got everybody that want to get out from their teams, and a lot of the pieces that we chasing, like the Kuzmas, Brandon Ingrams, all them people like that, bro, they're gettable. Even Donovan Mitchell, they're gettable, bro. So pull the trigger on that, Monty. We don't want to hear about we got to wait to the deadline. We running it back. continuity, all that. No, bro, we already said that. So Malik Monk is the first and foremost. But even we're trying to get Malik Monk, bro, that doesn't mean that we have to stop trying to get our bench together and trying to get somebody. Like, everything isn't wrapped around Malik. Malik is like, we want to get Malik first and foremost, but we also want to pull the trigger on everything else. Also, as far as the three-pointers, I'm with you, Chris. Hey, De'Aaron, you got to fall back on that, bro. Like, I know we want to be a jump shooting team, but that starts with coaching. Like, Mike and Jay have to figure out counters. Everybody knows you want to put up 63s, but we got to start doing backdoor cuts. Listen, I called y'all all last season talking about that, bro. We have to, Fox, you have to go back to your mid-range, bro. I know you want to be a jump shooter, and maybe he has a counter this season, but you have to get back to that, dog. And it starts with him, and it starts with the coaching. Domas, shoot mid-range. The whole team. It's the offensive philosophy, bro. The whole get into the paint, spray three-pointers. Bro, that has to change. That has to change this season. We have to have counters for that. Not saying take it away, but we have to have counters. We can't just rely on, hey guys, we're going to put up 73s today, and if we make them, we win. If we don't, then we'll live with it. No, bro, that has to be out. That's all I got.
Thanks for the call. As always, TC, we have more of your texts, more of your calls as well, and the NFL schedule. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Okay, it's here. Everyone stay calm. It's Kohl's lowest prices of the season. And when I say low, I mean low. I got my kids Jumping Bean tees for $3.99. Treated myself to some cute tees and tank tops under $5. And got great finds for our patio, 50% off. Plus, I earned Kohl's cash on all of it. Sounds too good to be true? Well, I guess you'll have to go to Kohl's and find out for yourself. Select styles. Offers in May 15th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Winter's gone, so there's no excuses for missing out on Sacramento's premier country festival, Country in the Park. It's this Friday and Saturday. Don't miss your chance to see
Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Letts, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, Brian Kelly, Drew Baldridge, Brian Martin, Michael Ray,
Ingrid Andress, Priscilla Block,
Chase Matthews.
Tickets are only $46 per day. Buy your tickets now at CITPfest.com. That's CITPfest.com. Or take your chances at the gate. Brought to you by Junior Restaurant and Lounge, Gurnick Academy, and Fieldhouse American Sports Pub.
Hi, everyone. It's Emron Pilati, host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday at 10 a.m. Would you like a chance to meet Ricky Henderson, Dennis Rodman, Johnny Manziel, Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Dave Stewart, and our favorite Malik Monk, and meet over 90 sports card dealers all in one weekend? This is your chance to do it on May 17th through the 19th at the Roseville Fairgrounds at the Sacramento Autograph Expo. You can get all the information about the show on our website at sacautograph.expo.com. That's sacautograph.expo.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sacktown Sports. /Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
30 minutes until our Kings roundtable, more like a triangle, because Frankie Cardicelli is too busy for us today. He's doing a lot of good stuff with the station.
Frankie, I work for a living.
That's right. That's right. So it will be a Kings triangle. I don't know if Simone will have any triangle type music. She always finds something for for when Brendan Nunez is here. And you're not going to want to miss that at 12:30, because Brendan will break down this Malik and Sasha connection that I've been teasing for over 24 hours now. Brendan will break that down. And a lot of people, we were on different Kings platforms, a lot of people thought it was just interesting move on the Kings part, and especially when you look at the future of Sasha and what he eventually has meant to the team. Or maybe we're blowing it up. Brendan Nunez will break that down for us at 12:30, get his thoughts on the NBA draft, free agents, and trades as well. We wanted to get into some football here as the NFL schedule has released, and some other stories coming out of the NFL, and we have over unders for teams and what these numbers are set at. So Chris, you got some news from the broadcast section of the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, like NFL schedule release date, it's like Christmas, New Year's, NFL schedule release date in terms of the big holidays. And
can I ask you something real quick?
Please.
Did you see, what were your thoughts on, I'd never seen, maybe I just didn't notice this. So we've talked about the draft leaks, right? And how that's cool. That's not. Did you see people, everybody wants to be a investigative journalist now. Did you see people, I got a leak, or the Niners are playing the Cowboys, that just leaked.
Right.
Now we're doing schedule leaks.
Yes. Like, and here's the thing, even like that term leak is like loose, because it's like you're telling Adam Schefter. So you're telling me Adam Schefter just learned that, you're telling me the partner of the NFL, and the NFL is just okay with the partner releasing that information with ready-made graphics. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
It's so stupid that the NFL tries to they're like, oh no, we're not making this into a thing. People care about the schedule.
Right.
No, you're trying to make it into the biggest thing possible and then giving leaks leading into it to remind us, oh, the full thing's coming. Like, it's genius marketing, but it's like,
of course it is.
I can't stand the NFL sometimes. Yes, so this is from The Athletic. They had 18 notes from the NFL schedule release. I'm not doing 18 notes because there's not 18 things that are interesting about the schedule being released. So I just cherry-picked what I thought were, I think I picked 5 out here, 4 of the biggest things from the Athletics article of the biggest things from the NFL schedule release. First one is, I actually didn't know this, but I guess, let me ask you this. Which slate do you prefer? The early morning one or the afternoon one? In terms of like which one you feel like you're more locked in, the 10 a.m. games or the 1:25? The morning? I completely agree.
Yeah.
Apparently, it is the most sought after games to do the prime time 1:25. Those are the games that CBS and Fox, that's the NFL game of the week. They'll always have that one.
Right.
That'll be in the afternoon. Apparently, those are the ones that everyone's going for. CBS proudly boasted in a press release last January, NFL on CBS's national games averaged 24.637 million viewers for its 10 Sunday afternoon window, more than any other sports, entertainment, or news series on any network. In 2023, Fox had similar numbers, 24.632. So a difference of 0.005 million viewers between Fox and CBS. CBS was really boasting, I guess, about the fact that they beat Fox last year. But Fox, in an effort to preserve its America's Game of the Week title, has asked the NFL to load up the early season with games that have huge draws for huge audiences. The result, Fox will air Week 1. This is Tom Brady's debut. Dallas Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns. Baltimore Ravens at the Cowboys in Week 3. In Week 6, you have Cowboys Lions. In Week 7, you have Super Bowl rematch Chiefs 49ers. So essentially just be ready for 1 o'clock to, especially in the first half of the season, end up being the biggest games of the week. So that is that's definitely something. As I mentioned, Tom Brady's broadcast debut. And we've got an interesting note on this Tom Brady thing as well. Tom Brady will become, as we know, Fox's regular play-by-play or color commentator on their number one broadcast. He will make his regular season debut, which is, of course, the NFL wants to make as big as possible. There will be no counter programming for Tom Brady's first game. It will be just Fox that has the stage for Cowboys versus Browns in an exclusively national Sunday afternoon window on Week 1, where there will be no CBS competition. And Alan, this story is one that I feel like was made for us. I don't know if this is fair or foul, if this is just straight up foul and is just a disrespect. I don't know if this is pocket watching, but what do you think when you saw this morning Greg Olsen, who made $10 million per year as the number one analyst at Fox, is no longer making $10 million per year since he got demoted to the number 2 spot. Tom Brady now becomes the number 1. And with that, reports are Greg Olsen's salary falls from $10 million down to 3 per year because of Tom Brady.
And we still don't know if he's good or not.
I'm fighting.
Yeah. Well, we knew.
I'm having hands.
Well, we knew this came out when it said Greg Olsen was the one that was going to get demoted, right? So we knew that was happening. We didn't know what the money situation was. And I guess it's better to be a fill-in than to have never had the opportunity at all. I mean, I'm assuming Greg Olsen would now be looking to go elsewhere where he can get a bigger bag and maybe be number 1. I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if Tom Brady's going to be good or not.
Probably not.
But yeah, I guess it's fair because he saw it coming.
Sure.
But I think it's foul because, like I said, if I'm losing my job to somebody, I would hope that person is proven and just it is already a staple in the industry and has more experience than me. And this isn't the case. It's just a name.
Yep.
But names matter.
It's a big name.
You know what's funny? And this kind of takes us off a path. It had me thinking randomly of Teddy Bridgewater, because Greg Olsen, whatever he was making in the NFL, then as a broadcaster, he's dropping down to $3 million. He's getting pretty close to people's combined incomes here. I mean, he's getting close to dropping out of the millions. So it just had me thinking, when these guys go to high school jobs, right?
What's
the first paycheck that Teddy Bridgewater saw? He's coaching his high school team
Like,
now.
is this the signing bonus? Like, is this incentives?
How long does it take? When you work out and you stop working out, your muscles go away pretty quickly.
Right.
How numb are you to, this is what people actually live off of.
Yeah.
This is normal money here.
Right. Yeah.
It's probably just a bizarre feeling.
It's probably really scary. It's like, oh man, like I actually have to buy. I'm telling you, like when you're famous, even just a little bit famous, the amount of free stuff you don't even have to pay. That's the cruel reality. The darkest secret about America is the richer you get, the more free stuff you get. So you have to pay for less. It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I mean, it's got to be a weird reality. Welcome back to Earth thing when you're getting that. I don't even know what Teddy Bridgewater's first.
Goodness.
I don't know what a high school. I mean, at least 50, it's in Florida, but I don't know what it's.
No tax, $50K, no taxes. Maybe 50.
Maybe. It's like a 3-month job,
and
right?
He has plenty of money. Don't get me wrong, but Teddy, he's not going to ask the high school kid isn't going to pay him more because he's Teddy Bridgewater.
No.
That's part of the thing. Hey, I'll hook you up.
It's honestly almost something where it's like you wonder if you're Teddy, you're a quarterback. You've been is it fair or foul for the school to ask, hey, would you mind coaching for free?
Honestly, he might be doing it for free.
He might. Like, because you could imagine it might be a bad look.
Give that money to the kids to go back to facilities or whatever it is. What's the price on when you can stop budgeting? How much money at $3 million a year? You still got a budget, I think.
You're asking the wrong guy. I have no idea.
I think 10.
I would hope you always can budget,
but you have to. I would say at $3 million, you probably have to. At $10 million, you don't. If you make it $10 million a year, I'm not budgeting anything.
Yeah, no.
$3 million?
Absolutely.
Greg Olsen's going to have to pay attention.
Two more quick notes. 49ers were the big draw, the most in-demand game by the media partners based on potential viewership.
Wow.
I heard, and this is again from The Athletic, I heard it was either Chiefs-Niners or either Chiefs-Niners or Cowboys-49ers. Chiefs-Bills was also a top 10, but for the two biggest broadcasts to both include the Niners, not necessarily the Chiefs.
Right.
I think that's definitely something, and there's obviously the San Francisco-ness of it. There's they were in the Super Bowl. There's all the stars, all that stuff. Definitely makes sense, but just to see that, I thought was an interesting note. And then here's the big thing, as we're talking about budgeting and everything like that. Ellen, everybody in here is going to have to make a community fund in order to watch football this season. The alphabet soup of places airing NFL games in 2024, you have ABC, you have Amazon, you have CBS, Fox, ESPN, ESPN Plus, NBC, Netflix, NFL Network, Peacock, and Sunday Ticket. That's like a combined $800. I'm sure somebody broke it down. I'm going to see if we can find the breakdown of how much everyone is going to have to pay.
If you pay for everything, right?
Let me see.
Sunday
Ticket's not cheap. It's not cheap at all.
I did it for the first time.
Here it is. Perfect. Somebody already did it. When this isn't even all of them.
Oh, no.
Netflix is $6.99, which I'm not sure if
that's not accurate.
Netflix is what?
$6.99.
That might be for like
I think to have a separate, to be a spawn.
Okay.
Right.
To as an add-on.
Oh my gosh.
I hear you.
So Netflix $6.99, ESPN Plus $10.99, Peacock $5.99, Prime Video $8.99. Sunday Ticket is $72 a month. So you're talking. Let's see here. Quick maths: 11, 20. We'll say 30. That's about $100 a month.
Wow.
Somewhere around there, just to watch football. Just to watch every football game. If you want to watch every single football game,
and people will watch every game.
You have to pay $100 a month.
Yeah, and we were when
it's a 4-month season. I think you'll pay January, September, October, December. 5 months.
Wow, you got to see your fantasy team.
Yeah.
You got to see them in action. Every single player. When we get back, we break down the over-unders. We get Simone's thoughts as well on her Niners. You taking the over? You taking the under. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Bright and sunny day for this Thursday. Expecting that onshore breeze to stay with us through the afternoon. Keeping temperatures today in the lower to mid 80s. Expect overnight lows down to the 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916, Sacktown Sports.
We have some new numbers here. It's going to cost you about $850 total, not per month, but $850 altogether.
Honestly, it's going to be more because the list I'm looking at still doesn't include Peacock. Shout out Joe Giroux.
Peacock.
Let us know. I'm sorry, it doesn't include Paramount. I'm sorry.
Oh.
All of these lists don't include Paramount that have this broken down. So again, Peacock $5.99, Netflix $6.99, Prime 5 months of $8.99, ESPN Plus $10.99, 6 months. I said YouTube TV. That's just to get YouTube TV. Right. You have to pay 6 months of $73 a month for YouTube TV.
And then you have to pay.
And then you get the $350 package of DirecTV. Yeah. So that's at least $850 probably. I mean, with Paramount, it's you're getting towards $900.
Ridiculous.
That's crazy. That's
ridiculous. Brendan Nunez joins us in about 15 minutes to talk Malik, Sasha, NBA draft, free agents, and trades. He is our Sacktown Sports Kings insider. 707 on the text line. I really miss when it was easy to tune into sports channels. No need to subscribe to several different streaming platforms, Sunday Ticket or League Pass. It's a mess now and a total shakedown. I don't blame people for seeking alternative sources for their sports viewing. Yeah, and I don't know if that is a wink to, whether something is legal or not, but it is ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. And you know what? And outside of sports as well, you know what I want? I'm literally going to just start notes because the year will end and I won't remember what I watched. I won't remember what I watched it on. I feel like there needs to be a Spotify Wrapped for everything that you watched in the past year, because I like going back, but Chris, I couldn't tell you the stuff everything that I watched.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a great idea. Spotify. I mean, I'm surprised everybody should do a version of Spotify Wrapped for their app. It just makes sense. No, absolutely. And funny enough, actually, I mean, first off, I do feel like I've been very consistent that at some point here, we're just going to revert back to a cable box.
Mhm.
It's going to happen. We're just going to say, wow, all of these different places that I have to go. Wouldn't it be great if it's just all in one convenient location where I can just pick it all and it's maybe on a list or I don't know, something that could guide me, if you will, through the channels. And it's all just going to turn back. But honestly, that text does remind me, and it's perfectly timed, because today they announced that Warner Brothers, Disney, and Fox joint sports app that they talked about a couple months ago. It came out. It will be called Venue, and it will be releasing this fall. The service will put ESPN, TNT, and Fox Sports on a new app together.
Come on, man.
So there you go. You know, they're getting closer to it, at least.
This is getting ridiculous. Yeah. This is getting literally absurd.
They're trying.
What else?
This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
What else is absurd are some of the over-unders here. So we picked 3 teams to go over: the Niners, the Vikings, and the Raiders. Let's start with the Niners, and they are at 11.5. That feels maybe it feels aggressive, but at the same time, it feels very doable for the Niners. We have.
Did you have any thoughts on their schedule?
Yeah. At first, I thought it was pretty cupcake, and then I looked at it again, and it didn't feel as cupcake. They're favored in every game. Okay, so the over/under is 11.5 for the Niners. Here's their schedule. They host the Jets. They go to Minnesota. Chris will be locked in for that one. Maybe he'll fly to Minnesota. They go to Minnesota. They go to the Rams. They host the Patriots. They host the Cardinals. They go to Seattle. They host the Chiefs. They host the Cowboys. They go to Tampa. They host the Seahawks. They go to Packers. They go to Bills. And then they host the Bears. So, I mean, for what I'm seeing, I think they beat the Jets. So that's 1 win. I think they beat the Vikings. That's 2 wins.
All the way down.
I think they split with the Rams, right? So that's at least 1. They beat the Patriots. That's 4. I think they beat the Cardinals twice. That's 6. Let's say they split with the Seahawks. So that's 7. They are going to lose to either the Chiefs or the Cowboys. So they're at 8. They beat Tampa. That's 9. The Packers and Bills, let's say they split. That's 10. So now I'm literally at 11. So they have to sweep at Packers, at Bills.
Bears.
They'll beat the Bears. That still puts them at 11. So they either have to sweep. All it really takes, Chris, is a sweep of the Packers and the Bills, a sweep of the Chiefs and the Cowboys, which is the toughest one, or the easier version of this is to sweep. They sweep the Seahawks and they get to 12. That's what I'm seeing.
Sure. Yeah, the thing that stuck out to me is it's a kind of much like last year. I kind of identified in the middle of the season was just a brutal stretch of opponents. This year they end the season in a pretty brutal way. Like, I think that to end the season from week 12 on, we'll just do Packers at Packers. So that's going to be in November at Lambeau.
Good point.
Nasty.
At Bills.
Yeah.
Nasty.
December 1st.
Right.
On national TV.
Nasty.
At 5:30 at night local. That's going to be cold. Then they're home against the Bears. That's fine. That's the let up. The Rams at the end of the season, they're going to be scrappy. They always are. At Dolphins, that's going to be a tough one. Versus the Lions again, that's another tough one.
Yeah, at least.
And then week 18 is the Cardinals. But to end the season, essentially, after you have the Chiefs, Cowboys, and then a bye, even just after the bye, we could just do anything post week 9. That's about as tough as a schedule as you're going to get. Even the Bears, like, we think the Bears are going to be a layup, but the Bears are going to be better than they were last year.
Yeah.
At that point in the season, maybe they picked up some injuries, but you could also say at that point in the season, Caleb Williams will have played 13 weeks and might be playing some of his best football to end the season. We saw Justin Fields do the same exact thing last year. I just think it's a tough schedule. I don't know. I don't really have thoughts on
over under
the number. Like, I'd probably say under just because it's a tough schedule, and I don't know how many times the Niners can continually play tough schedules and always end up on top. Just because you get 10 wins doesn't mean you're a bad team, doesn't mean you can't win the Super Bowl. I just think at some point, this fatigue, the fact that these fools have played more games than anybody else, besides maybe the Chiefs, it's going to catch up to them at some point. I think under 11. It's 11.5, so they need to get to 12. Yeah, I'm doing under 11.5.
Simone, give me the over, please.
Over 11.5. I'm gonna.
What, they got 12 last year, right?
Yeah.
They got 12 last year, and they were great. They were phenomenal last year. They got 12 wins.
It's tough. I'm going to take the over.
Thank you.
But it's tough. All right, Chris, quickly, your Vikings, you can find them at 6.5, but other places have them at 7.5. Let's just say 7.5 because I know you're take the over if it's 6.5.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the
You're
Vikings
taking it 7.5 over.
I think so. Yeah, I think the Vikings can. I'm not saying they're going to be world beaters this year, but I think they can be good. I definitely think if J.J. McCarthy is even just decent, I think the offense will be good enough. I think Brian Flores is going to be on another level this year. I think he's going to try and get a head coaching job. So I think the Vikings defense is going to be incredible. I'm going to say, yeah, eight wins feels right to me. 9, but they can get. I think they really can. Their goal is to be the same way the Kings continue to compare themselves to the Nuggets. The Vikings have now continually used the Texans as the example. The team that had 2 first-round picks last year took a quarterback and an edge rusher. Vikings did the same exact thing this year, took a quarterback, took the best edge rusher, and they're hoping to have similar success, a similar C.J. Stroud-like season from J.J. McCarthy. Maybe not as reliant on that quarterback, more so on the talent around, but the hope is the offense will be good, defense will be good. I'm going to say the Vikings I'll say 8 wins.
8 wins for the Vikings.
Which is still losing.
I will take the over as well. And last but not least, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
At 6.5, the Raiders. I don't know. I can't say under because that's disrespectful, but maybe 7. Maybe. All right. When we return, Brendan Nunez joins us for our Kings Roundtable, which is more of a triangle this go-round. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find: happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Your water heater, old, rusty, forgotten, we hardly ever even think about them until there's no hot water. Right now, get incredible rebates up to $3,000 off and financing available for as little as $40 a month. Leave it to Bonnie to crank up the heat.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass. Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, a first Major League win is always special, especially for someone who's paid his dues. Joey Estes, acquired by the A's in the Matt Olson trade, handful of innings in the big leagues for the Athletics a year ago, made his first start this year in Seattle. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 5 years after he was drafted by Atlanta.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
My community means everything to me. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The training and leadership skills I get from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people and look out for my community. If you'd like to learn how you too can serve part-time in the community you love, visit nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters Association and this station.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sacktown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting sacktownsports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
This segment is brought to you by Aztec Solar. Skip the sales pitch. Calculate your solar savings at yourpowersavings.com.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Brendan Nunez joins us. Sacktown Sports Kings Insider with all of the tea. And Brendan, I've been teasing this for over 24 hours. So we're going to pay it off here. We're not going to waste any more time. So I saw this thing, right? We're on Kings Reddit. We're on a lot of different places. And I saw this thing pop up. And it essentially said that, and Chris has been a lot more optimistic on Malik Monk because of when you came in here and talked about the different wiggle room and signing for 2 years and then opting out, and then the Kings can backload it and things like that. But just for the initial, what they'd be able to give him for 4 years, a very basic understanding that other media platforms are talking about. Part of the reason that they can only offer Malik 17 point whatever instead of 19 is because of money that they put away in their courting of Sasha in a year that they didn't even end up bringing Sasha over?
Yes. So I don't have the exact numbers, but essentially how it works is right now, because they have early bird rights on Malik Monk, you would have had full bird rights, been able to offer him whatever you wanted if you have a player for up to 3 years for that contract. You could have traded a player that had a 3-year deal or anything like that. But instead they have early bird rights, meaning they can offer Malik 175% the first year of his deal, 175% of whatever his most recent salary was. And then you can do 8% raises from there. So that's how we get to the 4 years, $78 million. But when they signed him, they used the MLE and they left a small portion of the MLE, practically about a minimum spot, that they didn't give that money to Malik, which obviously wasn't needed to get Malik at that time with what the market was for him. He was coming off a solid year in LA, but still kind of needed to prove himself. And they wanted to hold that over to see if Sasha would come. And ultimately now we're in a spot where, because Malik was not on a bigger deal, it's not a larger contract that they could offer him. But yes, if they would have given him the full MLE at that time, then now the contract would be more extensive that they could offer, because it's 175% of what the last
Initially,
year's salary, final salary was. But honestly, I don't really like knock them for that.
No,
Like, I think
mean,
it was
if you
Malik's
can-
market at the time.
Right. It's Malik's market. You didn't know what you had with Sasha. You were trying to get him over. Ultimately, he didn't go over. But yeah, Malik signed the deal. He was fine with the deal. His agent was fine with the deal. He had a good year in LA, but he was still working his way back into the forefront of the NBA. So, and obviously there are people commenting, and they just said it's just another reason to hate Sasha, which, all right, it's not Sasha's fault. But I do find it funny simply because we have no clue what Sasha is going to be on this team or what type of role. And there isn't, I don't feel like there's a ton of confidence when we talk about the additions that the Kings can make. I mean, Chris will bring it up. Maybe we'll see a text here or there, but the idea that Sasha is going to improve, do you think it's a little bit understated? Do you think there's more meat on that bone that Sasha could become at least a version of what the Kings had hoped for? I mean, they've courting this guy for years. You finally get him over, and then Mike Brown doesn't want to play him and he gets injured. You think that maybe he could be more of what they hoped he could be?
I definitely think he can. I think that last year was probably the most injuries he's dealt with in his career. He, had multiple ankle injuries. I want to say
in like a 2-week span.
Yeah, I forget which one was the first, but he injured one, came back for a game, and then the next practice got hurt again, and then injures himself again in the initial ankle, and is pretty much done for the year. By the time he comes back, it's like not enough time to really reintegrate him. But I thought that when he was out there, he was he looked good offensively, which I think is what you would expect. And he also got attacked defensively, which is also what you would expect. But I think that he fits in. He cuts really well. I love watching him shoot threes when he's out there. I just feel like he's a psycho in the best way. Yeah. He's just throwing up crazy shots. But I think that that's what he's out there for. So I think that coach will point to Manu a lot about how, and certainly he's not going to be Manu, but about how it took Manu a little bit of time, and I imagine that's on and off the court. Like anytime that Sasha walks in the locker room, he's talking on the phone in what I assume is Bulgarian.
Right.
And there's probably a homesick aspect here as well. So I think that with these type of guys, I'm willing to give them a little bit more time. And I think that's even more so the case with Sasha, considering some of those ankle injuries. So I think it's still too early to call it.
Okay.
But I get the frustration. Like, they did put an asset into this, and there is an opportunity cost of what else could you have spent that money on. So I get the frustration and the questions. I'm just waiting before I fully feel like I have a take on that.
I'm curious just when it comes to the Malik Monk side of things. I mean, I definitely have kind of changed my tune when it comes to just my feelings. I feel like I'm definitely on the other side of now feeling better about Malik's chances of staying, especially more so after reading the Keith Smith article about how the Kings can essentially, if they needed to, make up a 4-year, $100 million contract. First off, I mean, did you have any idea that they could do something besides what was being reported with the $77 million? And then I assume you read the Keith Smith piece after. Am I wrong to feel significantly better about Malik's chances after?
I think the weird part, and just to kind of lay out that Keith Smith from yesterday, that Keith piece from yesterday, essentially the Kings could offer, in order to get up to that 3-year mark where you would have his full bird rights, you can't do on the early bird deal a 2-year contract, a 1+1, which would be the most ideal thing here. But you can do a 2+1, the third year, a player option, to give Malik some flexibility, and you pay him at that mark where I think it starts around 17 this year. I forget exactly what the 2-year. Yeah, it goes up 8% the second year, and then he could decline, and the Kings could sign him to whatever money. I think the aspect with that is that requires Malik to bet on himself
again,
and coming into this year, this is a contract year for Malik, obviously. A lot of the talk was, he's playing well. And the thing Mike credited to a lot is he's coming in here and he's getting his work in early. He's staying late, and not that Malik wasn't always that guy, but there was some stuff, that made me think, that you could hope for a little bit more there in years prior. And it wouldn't surprise me if that was part of a contract year. Now I'm reading between the lines here, but that I think a lot of guys fit that. And does Malik want to do that again for 2 years? Is he willing to bet on himself, or does he want to take the bag right now? There's a chance that, after these 2 years, he gets an even bigger payday, or there's a chance he doesn't keep to develop from here. And there are questions that come up of right now, there's still questions of, is Malik a bench player? 2 years from now, it could be solidified that he is, or we could be totally on the other end here. And I think it's just the aspect of that, yes, the Kings could do that. They could have that conversation. We're willing to restructure this after 2 years, give you what you want, but that's still just in the air.
Right.
Didn't Malik say also during his exit interview, essentially, I've done the work and now it's time to get the benefits of it?
Something along those lines. He
of
definitely feels like he does. I mean, seems like from what he said, feels like he deserves it. Stuff of like, he credits the coaching staff, but really for the most part, it's that like he thinks, they just gave me more opportunity, really, that I already had this. So, yeah, I think there's some of that. It wouldn't surprise me if he wanted to get paid right now.
I'm just thinking about it like it's me.
Right.
And I'm taking it.
Same.
And you know what's a part of this too, guys? Malik getting hurt. If I'm his agent, Malik getting hurt at the end of the season, it could go like that. I think that hurts. It just brings it back to reality that you need to do this now, because look what happened to you at the end of the season. It could have been worse. You ain't getting any younger. So not to kill your dreams.
No, but
Chris.
I mean, it's a great point, because what if it happens at that void year, the year where Malik is supposed to opt out and get the bigger bag? If he gets hurt and he's like, okay, remember when you promised me that you were going to give me $30 million? Well, I know my ankle's hurting, but we didn't know that at the time. So you're still going to pay me the 30 mil, right? Like that then becomes a potentially dicey situation.
Really matter.
Well, that's where you get into situations where Daryl Morey is a liar.
Yes.
Daryl Morey is a liar.
Yes.
That's how you get to those kind of situations.
Yes.
The question is, and we'll answer this on the other side. The question is, what is more likely? If Malik were to stay with the Kings, what's more likely? Taking the 77 straight up or betting on himself? What is the more realistic opportunity for Malik staying? Because you could take less of a bag, but you get it now. And we'll just take leaving out of the question, right? Because we know if you want the major bag, you can leave. What feels more realistic? We will take your calls, your texts, your Sack Chat when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
We all have some things from the past that we might regret, or better yet, might like to get rid of. I'm talking about that mistake you made years ago that still may be haunting you. How great would it be if that could be expunged and gone? Poof, just like that. But where do you go for something like that? Try the Gonzalez Law Offices. Jonathan Gonzalez is right here in downtown Sacramento, and he's here for you. Maybe you need someone for wrongful termination. Again, the Gonzalez Law Offices. Go to SacLegalDefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
It's Dodge season at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and that means it's a season to save and save big on Dodge. Just listen to this. Right now, you can get a 23 Dodge Charger SXT for only $19,999. Just $19,999. What? A new Dodge Charger for under $20K. That's unheard of. That's almost $17,000 in net savings off MSRP. Just do the math, friends, because that adds up to a whole lot of savings. So you better hurry before they're gone.
Order defined at this offer. MSRP $39,620. Sales price $28,419. Net price $19,999 after $8,420 in rebates. See dealer for details. Offer ends 5/31/24.
It's Dodge season here, and it's a season to save. And it's going on right now at Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, right off 99 in Kettleman, where we're open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Yeah!
Hi, everyone. It's Emron Pilati, host of the True Sports Card Show here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday at 10 a.m. Would you like a chance to meet Ricky Henderson, Dennis Rodman, Johnny Manziel, Randy Johnson, Frank Thomas, Vlad Guerrero Sr., Dave Stewart, and our favorite Malik Monk, and meet over 90 sports card dealers all in one weekend? This is your chance to do it on May 17th through the 19th at the Roseville Fairgrounds at the Sacramento Autograph Expo. You can get all the information about the show on our website at sacautograph.expo.com. That's sacautograph.expo.com.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
My good friends, Dr. Jack Friedlander and Dr. Pash in Roseville and in San Francisco are offering not only confidence, not only security, but also the ability, if you ain't insecure, to go from the roster to the all-star team. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about UpsizeMatters.com. Time after time, vote after vote, circumference, or as we call it, girth, is consistently ranked as the most important attribute. Now, Dr. Jack and Dr. Pash can give you a free consultation. The procedure can be done on the same day as your consultation with immediate results. It's non-surgical. It's virtually pain-free, safe, effective, long-lasting, semi-permanent, and doctor-performed. For more information, go to UpsizeMatters.com. Go to UpsizeMatters.com. Make that change. Make the all-star team. Get your girth on.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
Got some text to read through, but wanted to keep the Malik Monk conversation going. And some people had some things to say about Sasha. Joined by Brendan Nunez, our Kings Triangle, with our Sacktown Sports Kings Insider. So what do you think is more likely? Malik taking a smaller paycheck to stay, and I guess it depends on how small, right? What's more likely? Malik taking a smaller paycheck to stay in Sacramento, but I feel like what are those commercials, Chris? It's my money and I want it now, yes, right? Taking the lump sum, or this new path that we've kind of crafted out, opting to take 2 years and then opting out again and saying, still taking so what would the 2-year paycheck be?
It would be 17, 18, and then 30 and 33. So there's no way he's not going to, like if it's an option of either 100 mil or 77, he's not going to take the 70, the initial deal that we all thought he was going to take.
Right, because there's no reason
There's no way, yeah. If the Kings can offer him more, he's going to ask for that. He's going to say, no, I'm not signing here until you offer me the 100 mil.
Because if Malik Monk wanted to stay, why would you take essentially the same paycheck for 4 years when you can take the same paycheck for 2 years with the opportunity to take more? So basically it all comes back to the same idea. I'm either going to take this and do a version of betting on myself, or I'm going to just take the bag elsewhere. So essentially we can cook this for $77 million.
I don't know. I mean, I think that could you do a 478 where the third year's a team player option? You know, and then give them a little bit of flexibility there where you could still get this 4 years, or on the third, you could decide that, you know, you want to re-up and do this differently, or like the, you know, the two, like, again, it's the betting on himself. Like, I still think the 478 is in play here. I think that number could end up being, I don't know, I guess the reporting coming out is like teams seem to do really like him. I'm just curious what these other teams with the cap space are going to prefer. You know, if Klay Thompson goes to Orlando, like, does this whole situation become different all of a sudden? You know, if Toronto decides to keep some of their guys, they bring back Gary Trent Jr., like, does this look different? You know, so I think it could change quick. And I think the 478 is still in play. I think the like 2+ and then, you know, the next deal as well. It's just, you know, you're making a promise and he's betting on himself. And it's just, I don't know, that promise, at least to me, seems so like, we want to do this, you know, and, you know, sure, if people want to throw around the word promise, it doesn't feel like, I would have a hard time trusting that's a real promise, you know?
Do y'all think that we're discounting like the Raptors, the Pistons, like those bad teams that do have enough money, but, you know, we just don't, I think we're overlooking them because they're bad, and we just don't think Malik's going to sign up for a bad situation. Like, is there maybe a chance that we're kind of overlooking that maybe he will say, well, this gives me a starting spot and it gives me the money? Yeah. You know, I've been in losing situations before.
It depends on how much he cares about location. And it feels like we've learned that he doesn't need a big market. And so I'd be more worried if one of those places, and that's why Orlando is the scariest, why we talked about it so much. But let's take Detroit, right? The question ultimately is, the sell to Malik is, we're not going to be bad because we're bringing you in. Are there pieces? How far away could Detroit sell Malik on how far or how close they are to making some noise? Because personally, I feel like you could sell Malik, especially with the Eastern Conference. I think you could sell Malik on Detroit, dare I say, before you sell him on the Jazz. With the West, am I crazy?
I mean, Detroit, like, I don't think Detroit is in as like crappy of a spot as a lot of people seem to. I think Cade is that guy. I think Jaden Ivey's still going to be really good. I wonder where Malik would fit into that equation with both of those guys being fairly ball dominant. But, you know, you could say the same thing about Sacramento, and he's figured it out.
Or Utah.
They're not that far from being, like, maybe I'm crazy. I don't think they're that far from having like an Orlando-ish jump, you know,
or get to the play
last year. Orlando, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think they're okay. I think Toronto is going to be a part of the conversation. It seems like Toronto really, really liked Malik in the Pascal Siakam conversations.
You got Malik and Quickly, though?
Maybe.
I think Quickly's a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's restricted.
If it's anything, it's restricted. Yeah. I don't know. I think that those teams factor in. I think that they are getting discounted a lot because Malik said in his post-game presser, like, I could get more money elsewhere and be on a losing team.
Right.
But I think a big part of the question here is Malik's 26. Is this his biggest contract or is his next one? Because if he believes it's this one, I think you just get all the guaranteed money you can right now. If he thinks it's the next one, that's where this 2+1 gets interesting. You know, do you think that your biggest bag is going to come when you're 20, like at 28, or it's back to the betting on yourself? If Malik thinks he's going to get better, you can get a lot bigger bag in 2 years. You know, I had somebody earlier this year, I've said this a couple times, I think, asked me, like, what does Zach LaVine do that Malik Monk doesn't? The answer is consistency. There is a difference, but there's moments where I'm like, God, Malik is really, really good, you know? And so if he's willing to say, like, hey, no, my next bag is really going to be my big one, then maybe that makes sense. But I feel like that's kind of the conversation of, is this the big payday or is it the next one?
Do you feel any better with the picture of Malik out on the golf course? Nate also, I don't know if you heard on yesterday, Nate revealed that he had sources that said wasn't just that one day of golfing, that Malik also went with some Kings staffers a couple days later.
That would not surprise me. Malik likes his golf. I think usually Keegan and Kevin are the go-tos with
Kevin's
if Kevin were not hurt. I don't know. I didn't really read too much into it.
Come on.
Vivek being there is probably the thing where I'm like, you know, but
there's definitely conversations, you would think.
Yeah. You know, they like to say business gets handled on a golf course, I guess, but like, I don't think it'd be more conversations than what have already happened. they've made it very clear in their exit interviews and everything they've done. We love Malik Monk and he loves Sacramento. That's their whole thing, is we want him and he likes it here. And so, that further backs that they're just not talking out of nowhere, but it doesn't really change anything for me. I think these conversations probably already been had. I think Malik probably knows they really want me here. These are my options because Sacramento's fairly limited, as we've talked about. It's just about exploring and talking to other teams, really.
Coming up next, we talk NBA free agency, trades, and the NBA draft. Also, what does Brendan think about the former King who's been not doing so hot in the playoffs? Stiles and Watkins.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporta's over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Been chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Winter's gone, so there's no excuses for missing out on Sacramento's premier country festival, Country in the Park. It's this Friday and Saturday. Don't miss your chance to see
Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Letch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, Brian Kelly, Drew Baldridge, Brian Martin, Michael Ray,
Ingrid Andress, Priscilla Block,
Chase Matthew.
Tickets are only $46 per day. Buy your tickets now at CITPfest.com. That's CITPfest.com. Or take your chances at the gate. Brought to you by Junior Restaurant and Lounge, Vernick Academy, and Fieldhouse American Sports Pub.
I'm Craig Ashton of the Injury Law Firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Sacramento sports fans, get ready to amp up your summer with the Sacktown Sports live events calendar. We've got a lineup that's awesome. First up on May 24th, don't miss Tribal Seeds as they bring their reggae beats to Ace of Spades, presented by Live Nation. And mark your calendar for June 8th when NF takes the stage at the Golden One Center. Visit livenation.com for tickets and get ready for a killer high-energy show. Don't miss music legends Daryl Hall and Elvis Costello with the Imposters on June 12th, and NSYNC and Backstreet artists Joey Fatone and AJ McLean on June 22nd. 2 great shows coming in June to Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Then looking ahead to August 4th, get ready for the Outlaw Music Festival at the Toyota Amphitheater, presented by Live Nation. The Sacktown Sports live events calendar, your ultimate playbook for the best shows and events in town. Stay tuned to Sacktown Sports for exclusive updates and your chance to win tickets.
You've seen the specials on Amazon, Netflix, Showtime, and more. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
Babe, can I go with Steve and have a drink at the casino? And then she started to speak wife. She looked at him right in the face and she goes, you can do whatever you want. And his dumb goes, told you. I go, oh, no, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Steve Trevino. Saturday, June 1st, the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sacktown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
Quick story before we get back into some Kings talk. I was going to tell Brendan this during the break, but felt like I'd save it for the air. Simone will get a kick out of this too, and Chris. So I'm at the concert yesterday, right? And, there's a DJ. Bryson didn't have any openers. He just had a DJ. This guy continues to say that he's from L.A., right? He continues to say that he's from LA. And I'm not kidding. He probably played during the set at least 6 Drake songs, right? At least 6 Drake songs. And he keeps saying he's from LA, he reps LA. He ends it with Not Like Us, but he only played like maybe 45 seconds. It was the last song before Bryson didn't play any lyrics, just the beat. I thought that was super bizarre. And now I'm thinking, is Bryson on the same record label as Drake? Because it was weird.
Probably not, but
I wouldn't think so either.
Yeah.
And wherever this DJ falls, maybe he got orders. Hey, you can, play it for 2 seconds, but keep the Drake coming.
Okay.
None of the, the whole thing is.
If anything, that proves that Kendrick won. It's like, it's such a hit that even the label's like, all right, you got to
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm telling you, he won because I second guess playing Drake songs nowadays.
Yeah, but
that's the damage
that's
he's
what
done.
It was weird to me. This guy was making it a point to play Drake songs and then plays.
And then you're claiming LA.
And then he kept claiming LA. To say, hey, I'm not, but then plays the Kendrick with no lyrics for 45 seconds. Because I had my phone ready. I said, he's going to play it. Because I was on the gram. Check me out on the gram last night. And he shut it down immediately.
Okay.
I had just hit record on my story.
And that's
like
the number 1 song in the country right now.
It was weird.
It's very weird. I think
we
know where he
We
sides.
do it for Compton.
Yeah,
true.
Yep. He was not repping Compton last night. All right.
Yeah, I think you might be onto something.
Yeah,
I'm looking some initial research. I think you might be onto something.
Okay, similar label.
I think Tiller has a song with Drake. I think there's like an older unreleased.
That didn't stop anybody
You're
else.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
And Bryson, he doesn't want to be a part of this.
Oh yeah,
not
he's staying
even a
out of
rapper.
it.
Yeah,
I did see a trailer for a very funny Drake Kendrick video game. I think I showed that to Chris the other day. Maybe not.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe Tiller's working on
Bryson
it.
does love video games. He literally makes video games in his spare time. He's like, he went from being a gamer and
this man dropped an album for the first time in like 5 years, and it's like, that's probably gonna be my last one for a while.
He's
What do you mean for a
He
while?
just had a hiatus. All right. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Getting back into some Kings talk, we had a couple texts that we wanted to get through, and this person had an interesting one, Brendan, and it was about Sabonis. And basically they said, this is from the 530, the offense runs through Sabonis. Seemed like we had a lot of bad matchups this year. What player can we add and still operate through Sabonis? I think there are a lot of players.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess what big player?
Pretty much most of them. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they're pretty set on him being a center. I think that's everything that we've seen. You know, like Alex is somebody that can kind of space the floor, I guess. Alex Len, like you can throw him in a corner. You know, there was one game this year against Milwaukee where they did it. Outside of that, I don't believe we saw Sabonis play center all year long, or play at the 4 with another center all year long. You know, I would be surprised if they did that. There was a reporting recently I saw that like Kings might be interested in Jared Allen. That's weird to me. I think there was Clint Capella last offseason too.
We talked about
I'm kind of not biting on those. You know, those seem weird.
And can you speak to why, as far as this whole, a lot of people like to talk about Sabonis at the 4?
Yeah, because they run their entire offense through this guy at the elbow pretty much. And unless you have somebody that is also able to, first of all, run off of those screens, off of those dribble handoffs, and they need to be able to space the floor, because you have somebody else, like the Nuggets get away with it a little bit. I guess Aaron Gordon's not a spacer, but like he can sit in that dunker spot and he moves very well between both sides and things like that. But I think it's really about the spacing, and you want to keep Domas at that 5 and everybody else on the perimeter, because Fox and Sabonis are still most effective inside, and you really just need that spacing. Also defensively, it might even be the bigger question mark. Like, I don't think Sabonis can defend on the perimeter very well. He has some okay defensive moments. Like, I think that Warriors playing game, he was solid, but think of the 4s for some of these other teams. Like, we're talking about the Warriors. What we're talking about, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga. Like, is Domantas Sabonis checking that guy? Or, you know, whatever other 5, Jared Allen, Jonas Valanciunas, neither one of those guys are guarding him, you know? Even in the Minnesota series, like Cat, sure, but like on the other end, Cat, it was forced to chase around KD or things like this. So I think that they definitely want Domas at that 5 position. And I think for the most part, really anybody that's not a traditional center, I think works with him. I think high IQ players are the biggest thing. It's read and react. And I think high IQ players are really just what will strive in this system, no matter the position, really. I just think not a center.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. And we were kind of talking about it earlier. I can't see them. We'll just use the Jared Allen thing for example. I feel like that's something where they could probably make it work in the regular season. And just because it's an influx of talent, they might be a better regular season team. But to your point, like, once you reach the playoffs, you're playing Dallas, you're playing Denver, you're playing all these teams, OKC, they're not going to have a 4 for you to match the bonus up with. And I'm curious to get your thoughts on this exercise that we just kind of did, of when you look at the Kings and the guys that they have out there, and you look at the teams that are currently out there right now, how many guys do you think you can realistically see playing? We just use Denver and the Celtics as an example, because those seem to be the 2 that are on a fast track right now to the finals. So we'll just use those 2. How many guys do you think on the Kings, or where do you think the cutoff line is for the guys that you think absolutely you could see them playing for either one of those teams? And where does it kind of start to get maybe, you can't see Davion Mitchell, Keon Ellis, those kind of guys?
Oh, shoot. I kind of had forgot about Keon in this conversation too. It's at least 6. Right. If you go the starting 5 with Kevin, you go De'Aaron, Kevin, Harrison.
I didn't have Harrison on my list.
I think Harrison for sure belongs. I think Harrison is he could be a 5th starter. I think Harrison could be a 5th starter on a championship team.
He'd be on your team.
That's fair enough. I think Harrison makes the team.
Who are the other 4? Michael Jordan.
Huh.
If Harrison's your 5th,
I see what you're saying.
Michael Jordan, Kobe.
Hey, it could be current Milwaukee, and you could replace him with Malik Beasley. You know? I really think you can.
I don't think Milwaukee's doing too well. That's not really an example. I mean, to me, that's why, I'm talking about the teams that are still in it, because I think those are those are the models that you want to follow.
You don't think Harrison Barnes would play over Sam Hauser?
I think he would, but would he play well is the question. I don't have questions of whether he can give you minutes, but I think I see Jalen Williams struggling to find consistent play. I think of Harrison Barnes, and I think of a situation where he's in a lesser role but asked to be consistent. I don't know if I would trust it. Is more where I'm like he
I
was
could see
someone where
that.
I was more on the. I could go either way.
I think that's
my
fair.
Feelings bring it towards the other side.
That's fair. I think he could belong on the roster, but have a short leash.
Yes,
sort of thing.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
I think that's kind of not to answer your question, but I kind of think that's
what a lot of these are going to be.
Guys
yeah, I think Kevin fits. He could be on the fringe of that same sort of thing, but definitely De'Aaron, definitely Keegan, definitely Domas, Malik for sure. After that, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Like Trey is a little questionable in my mind. I think there's some teams that would really like him. There's
Kyle Anderson's playing. I guess Trey can't play much worse than Kyle.
Trey would be a great guy to have as an option. I do like Kyle Anderson in general. In general, I like Kyle Anderson.
All these bowl knowers
love
Kyle Anderson.
I'm just talking about Harrison Brown. I like slow players, apparently. These slow Euros really do it for me. Davion, I think is too fringe right now.
Yeah.
He is even borderline in some of these Sacramento games. I think last year
He's
against Golden
playing
State.
over Peyton Pritchard.
No, which is wild. By the way,
Is he playing? And he's not playing over TJ McConnell, to be honest.
Right. No, TJ's balling.
TJ's cooking.
TJ's balling. Tyrese is barely playing over TJ right now.
Well,
you
led me there.
No, he should be.
You led me there.
Yeah, I think that's really it. Like Trey is on the fringe, Davion's on the fringe. I still think Keon needs to prove it more before I feel comfortable with it. I think I still probably would place him in fringe, but I think he could get there. But I mean,
and what does that tell you?
The point of the exercise,
exactly.
yes, is that the depth is very much needed here. Like we talk about this high end talent that they definitely need to reach the next step, but you need these other pieces. Denver, before they went and made their Aaron Gordon trade, which is like what we're talking about is like this other star, right? Or maybe it's a little higher than that. They got KCP the offseason before. You got to slowly build up this depth while you wait to jump on the right big swing.
Well, they're going to have to do it soon because, we asked the question about how has this postseason made you feel about the Kings, right? And that's kind of how Chris got to, breaking everything down. And a lot of people don't feel great simply because of Minnesota. There, 2 new teams have entered the chat, right? With Minnesota. And I don't know if we thought Minnesota would ever be bad, but I don't know if we thought Minnesota would be this quickly. And now you have OKC, who, let's say the Mavs take care of business, right? OKC, how many teams are standing pat? And when I say pat, not looking to take a big swing this summer in the West. I don't know if the Mavs can afford to at this point. They might have to essentially run it back. Denver will essentially run it back in some way. No clue what the Clippers are doing.
Minnesota is in a really weird tax spot.
Minnesota will have to
a lot of talk on Cat. A lot of whispers
for sure.
Cat.
But everybody else is going to do something. So the Kings are going to have to do something. It's just going to be a matter. There are a lot of assets out there, but there are also a lot of people that want those assets. A lot of teams, probably more. It feels like more than usual. Maybe it's not more than usual, but it sure does feel like it.
Yeah.
Feels like a lot of teams think they're really close.
I think Memphis is going to be really good next year.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a world where Memphis could sneak away with like a 1 seed next year,
Great.
to be
Another
honest.
team.
I think
San
the
Antonio has
West
two
is
top 10
crazy.
picks.
Yes, and they could go and get Trae Young, DeMar
lot
DeRozan,
of
whatever.
money.
I love the idea of DeMar going back to San Antonio, by the way. It's kind of just a pipe dream, but I love the idea of that. I think that the West is going to be really competitive, but I will say from Sacramento's perspective, and in general, this is just how I approach things, but I think you should be running your own race. I know this is a competition and you're obviously up against these other guys, but if you try to fast track it because you're like, oh my God, the West is so good, like this is, or maybe is lacking a little bit, or however you decide to look at the landscape, you're like, oh, this is the time we got to capitalize. I think that can get you in trouble. I think run your own race, trust that you're going to get good enough to compete with whoever may be up there, because there's not a 2016-17 Warriors. Maybe the Celtics, if they sweep their way or lose 5 games throughout this, then we feel differently, but that's not till the finals that we're talking about, So I'm a big run your own race guy.
Yeah, and there's no reason now looking at OKC and them, they're getting a lot of experience right now, but there's no reason to think that if OKC just essentially got hot for a season, I think they're going to be a good team for a long time, but there's no reason to think that the Kings next season can't at least be back in the conversation. Sure. And I think Whitey said it best as I asked the question, hey, is this one of the best Western conferences ever, just as far as the talent and the stars? And Whitey said, I think it's one of the most competitive Western conferences, but I don't know how many all-time great teams, like you just said, talking about the Warriors. Let's just wait till the Warriors are done with KD. We're not going to try to catch them. So what's the point? And similar to the Dodgers right now, right? All right, we're not going to waste our time. We're going to still be competitive, but you have to run our own ways because they're just in a different dimension. There's nobody like that.
No.
So you're always going to have a chance. When we return, who does Brendan like in the NBA draft? We read some more of your texts and we talk NBA free agency. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
This report is sponsored by Xfinity Sports Zone. Fans can personalize their live sports viewing experience by watching multiple games at once and easily finding their favorite team and stats.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Chrysler's It's the Season sales event?
We're celebrating 75 years in business by offering Dodge Chargers and Challengers at enormous discounted prices to say thank you. We're sad to be saying goodbye to the last of the gas-powered Dodge Chargers and Challengers, but we're sending them out in style. Right now, save up to $11,000 off MSRP on the very last of the new 2023 Dodge Charger and Challenger Scat Packs.
Yeah, it's hard to believe this is really the end.
Yep, once they're gone forever. Don't wait and miss your chance because there's only a few left, and with savings like this, they won't last long.
Hurry in before they're gone or search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
11,000 total net savings on select new 2023 Challenger and Charger Scat Packs after 6,000 factory rebates and 5,000 dealer discounts. 5 of this net savings, sample VIN 596361. See dealer for details.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
One more segment with Brendan Nunez, who joins us, Sacktown Sports Kings Insider. This is from the 916. This is the first time I'm hearing this, and they even said, I don't think there are a lot of people that feel like this, but this person says, hey guys, I think I'm one of the few who hates the idea of Ingram or Kuzma. They'd have to overpay Ingram to stay, and Kuzma obviously cares more about stats than winning at this point in his career. Draft Khalil Ware or Tyler Smith, put them in the starting lineup, and bring Barnes off the bench to back up Keegan. That is from Tony in the 916. Yeah, Tony, I was listening to you at the beginning about the Ingram and Kuzma stuff. But again, you never know. In a draft that's supposed to be the worst in the last 25 years, we're trying to figure out who from the draft could be in the rotation, let alone the starting lineup. So, and I will check out those highlights because I do love my highlights, Tony. But yeah, I can't get on board. There's certain level of slander here for Harrison Barnes, and starting a rookie who hasn't played on a team in a Western Conference that we just talked about, some of the most competitive teams in the last 10 years here. I can't get on board with that, but let's focus more on the Ingram and Kuzma piece. Are we overselling Ingram and Kuzma and the idea of those guys joining the Kings?
I think that, it's kind of person to person. I think the Kuzma stuff is an obvious link. Obviously, they've tried to trade for him twice now. One time, everybody obviously thought it went through. I don't know. I struggle with the, obviously he's not a winning player thing. We don't know what these guys are thinking or what his situations may have been in the offseason. And things change quick for a lot of these guys. I think Aaron Gordon could have got that label before, and now he's balling out in a huge part of winning on a good team. Kristaps Porzingis absolutely fit that before.
Why do people get that stigma? Why does Kuzma have that stigma?
Because he chose to go back to a bad team.
Yeah.
Right.
They asked him at the deadline, do you want to be traded? And he said, no, I want to build something here in Washington. And it's like, brother, what the hell do you want to build out in Washington?
So if Malik goes to the Pistons, is he not a winning player anymore?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes, because you prioritize not winning.
Unless you really think you can turn that around.
Even then, you're prioritizing money and fit. I mean, you could also say fit, but it's not prioritizing winning, which everybody does. I mean, anybody re-signing a contract isn't necessarily prioritizing winning. It's saying,
well, I guess like
everybody's
everybody
out here trying to get it.
Like Beal.
Beal
has that.
Pretty much everybody wants to win, right? I won't say everybody, but you would like to think everybody. But some guys want to win on their own terms, right?
Yes.
Like I want to win in this role.
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah. How much are you willing to sacrifice for winning?
Which I get that being a question with Kuz. Like Jeremy Grant, I think is the most obvious one, just from looking at clearly didn't love his time in Denver, then wants to go to Portland, and I think there was one stop between that as well. Yes, thank you. Where that guy clearly just wanted a little bit of a bigger role, but at the same time, we're talking about Malik, and it's like, do you want to bet on yourself? And there is an aspect of also just betting on yourself in some of these. Like in Kuzma's situation, maybe he just really thought we are good enough that we have something here eventually, or he wants to be a guy, and that's it's different own thing, but it's hard to tell there. I think that he could be interesting for sure. I still sell myself on the defense he played in the bubble, but it's getting further and further away at this point. And Ingram's interesting too. I think that he definitely gives you the length that a lot of guys are looking for. I worry about the spacing a little bit though.
I guess what I'm trying to figure out is if the Kings traded for Kuzma, right? And Chris, that was a good note on Kuzma not wanting to necessarily
he didn't want
be
to get
traded.
It was even to Dallas. It wasn't just Sacramento. He said I didn't want to go to Dallas because I wanted to stay here.
But let's say he gets traded. What is the worry what is the worry when somebody gets here that he's not going to work that hard? You know what I mean? I feel like if you put somebody in a winning situation, these dudes are still hyper competitive.
The thought is that in the situation, I would think you're going to make the wrong move. It's instead of making the extra pass, you take the shot.
Yeah. I think it's trying to do too much, right?
Exactly.
Probably.
Yeah. It's not knowing your role. It's not playing within yourself. It's thinking, oh, now that we're on this stage, this is a great time for me to shine. When in reality, it's not, there's PJ Washington. There's going to be an opportunity for you to thrive in your role, but it starts to become a problem when you start ISOing and saying, okay, it's point PJ time. And, Kyle Kuzma, with the way he's played recently, I think there's a lot of question of, okay, we see it from De'Aaron too, but would there be moments where Kuzma says, hey, forget all this dribble handoff nonsense.
Yeah.
ISO, let me cook.
Sometimes
clear
just
out.
cook.
Well, what's really funny is that we ask Keegan to do this.
No, right. Exactly.
It's just both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's also a personality thing as well, where it's like, I trust Keegan's not going to take this too far.
That's fair.
Kuzma might take it too far.
But I feel like it might balance out some things. I just don't worry about it. Right. But I just don't worry about it.
With the Donovan Mitchell situation.
Yeah.
Nobody's chucking as much as Donovan.
Some guys
trying to tell you.
D'Lo is.
I will say though, I think
I worry about that more with D'Lo than Kuzma.
That is very fair. That is very fair. Although they're the same genre of NBA player for sure. I think that Domas's biggest skill is he makes players better, and I think that matters. That's the case no matter what your starting point is. If you're an all-star player, I think he gets you pretty close to all NBA, if not there. If you're a fringe all-star, I think he gets you to all-star caliber play. I really think he makes guys better as long as they're smart and able to play off of him. And I do think that Kuz and BI fit into that. I hesitated a little bit with Kuz and the high basketball IQ. But
707 says Kuzma was being PR friendly with those comments about staying in DC. I can see Monty pursuing him this summer. Yeah, I don't think that it's going to stop Monty from pursuing him. And because we talk so much about doing something. If you're able, I don't know if you're going to get him because of everybody else that is going to want Kuzma and these other guys. Real quick, Brendan, before we get you out of here, and thank you so much for the time. Have you done Chris walked us through how to properly watch highlights for the NBA draft. Have you done any deep dives to semi-deep dives? Who do you like? Who is your early thought process on what the Kings should do?
Yeah, I've started to look at some of this a little bit. I can't help but look at some of the bigs. I think we might have talked about this last roundtable, but the four that they're looking for next to Domas that can protect the rim, defend the perimeter, and also space the floor a little bit. I think more and more of these guys are going to exist over time. Yes. There's going to be more guys that come into the draft. And I think there's a couple in here like Kyle Filipowski gets my eye a little bit. The defense isn't quite there. I worry that we could be talking like Kelly Olynyk, and another big, there's Tristan da Silva, kind of interesting, a little bit at the same time. I'll worry about the tweener thing though. Right. And if you wanted to get a little bit smaller here, like Cody Williams is obviously great. I don't know if he's going to be there.
Chris's guy.
That's definitely, I understand why. Are you thinking Reed Shepherd here?
No.
Okay. I was going to go Jacoby Walter, actually.
Also, well, somebody actually, I think Texter called with Jacoby Walter. I still got to watch his tape. Come on, man.
I do like him and Devin Carter. Where are you going here?
You're still not saying my guy.
Okay. I know where you're going. You're going Jared McCain.
No.
What are we going with?
It's going Dalton Connect.
Okay. To be fair.
Come on.
He's the money guy. And I hesitated because
what do you mean by money guy?
He's 22. He's a money guy. He is an NBA ready player.
How many tattoos does he have?
Exactly. I don't think it's many. Let me tell you.
Then sign him
and there's
up.
this Johnny Furphy guy. He's a freshman, but he looks
Furphy.
Furphy.
Like Murphy, but with an F.
Let me make sure. I got to tell you, I read these names, and when I watch these guys, I do not listen to the audio. So sometimes I'm tough.
The
with
more
these
and more
names.
international prospects that are coming in, the rougher this is getting. Like this, there's this Zachary Richacher or something like that.
Tijon Salon.
Yeah.
Sean, give me Dalton or Tijon Salon.
That's fair. There's
you killed that.
Yeah,
I've been practicing.
You have to.
I've been practicing. All right, Brendan. Thank you so much. Can't wait to do this again next week, and we will continue our deep dive. So, who are the two names, Brendan? You said Filipowski for our listeners to go check out.
Maybe not Filipowski. We're gonna go Tristan da Silva. And I do also really like Jacoby Walter.
There you go. That's 2 on Jacoby Walter. Thank you so much for the time, Brendan. When we return, the A's moving off their flamethrower. Say it ain't so. We've seen this movie before. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move, that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or hagenoaks.com.
Whitey here reminding you that not all gas grills are created equal. Bring out all the delicious flavors in your grilled meats with the amazing Napoleon Prestige and Prestige Pro line of outdoor cookers. My Napoleon Stainless Steel Pro Series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro with features other grills cannot match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Made with premium stainless steel that boasts quality and a lifetime warranty. I may never want to cook indoors again. Napoleon grills and accessories are now available at your nearby Amy's, Ace Hardware in Sacramento, and now El Dorado.
Weekends are for Sacramento Rivercats baseball. Join us Friday, May 17th for a Patrick Bailey bobblehead to the first 2,500 fans, presented by Jackson Rancheria Casino Resort. Saturday, May 18th is Salute to Armed Forces Night, presented by Budweiser, with a pregame flyover by the U.S. Air Force. Stick around postgame for a fireworks show presented by Sutter Health. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com.
Vapes and cigarettes are responsible for the excessive amount of secondhand smoke in California.
From our sidewalks to our parks, restaurants, offices, and work sites, over half of Californians are at risk of being exposed to thousands of toxic chemicals.
Go to secondhanddangers.org for an action plan to protect yourself and your family from toxic harm that could last a lifetime.
Because even outdoors, there's no such thing as safe secondhand smoke.
Sponsored by Breathe California, Sacramento region.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Winter's gone, so there's no excuses for missing out on Sacramento's premier country festival, Country in the Park. It's this Friday and Saturday. Don't miss your chance to see
Bradley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes,
Brian Kelly,
Drew Baldridge,
Brian Martin,
Michael Ray,
Ingrid Andress, Priscilla Block,
Chase Matthew.
Tickets are only $46 per day. Buy your tickets now at CITPfest.com. That's CITPfest.com. Or take your chances at the gate. Brought to you by Junior Restaurant and Lounge, Gurnick Academy, and Fieldhouse American Sports Pub.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
It's Sacktown Sports 49ers insider Emil Fergoso here to tell you about the Sacramento Autograph Expo Trade Night hosted by True Sports Cards. Happening at the Fairgrounds in Roseville. Come hang out with fellow hobby enthusiasts as we sell and trade trading cards under the stars at Attaway Pavilion. Trade Night is completely free, happening Saturday, May 18th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. After an action-packed day of meeting your favorite athletes, stick around for a bit. So come on down to Trade Night at the Fairgrounds in Roseville. Located at 700 Event Center Drive, Saturday, May 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. For more information, visit sacksportscardexpo.com or hit up Trade Night host Candlestick Sports Cards on Instagram. See you there.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
I think I'm learning more and more that I love the draft. I'm so in. Because, in the past, I mean, I guess even when I was in the Bay, you had Kuminga and Wiseman, but this is just, there's something different about this, Chris. I'm just all in. Thanks again to Brendan Nunez. And somebody from the 916 was talking about getting Kyle Filipowski, and they also mentioned Tejan Selon. And I fired up his highlights during the break. And I'm going to tell you right now.
I feel like you learned nothing yesterday.
I didn't listen to you at all.
At all.
But Chris, I'm sorry. Don't connect. You're still my guy, but give me Tejan Selon.
There we go. Well, one day, yeah, we'll have to do like a personal big board, and we'll get all our hot takes out. But I'm still early in this process. I can't dive in yet, and honestly, the draft is just I'm so exhausted of it from all of the years of being in it. It's fun to get excited about guys, but then it's the reality of them becoming players. And the draft is fun, but it can get very toxic. And the amount of certainty that some people will speak with prospects that just have absolutely no idea and end up being completely wrong.
Guarantee.
A lot of that.
Well, and it's starting to happen now, right?
Yeah.
It's starting to happen now. People are starting to say, hey, maybe we were a little too tough on Zach Edey. Right. Maybe Zach Edey starts to you post one video making some threes.
Right.
Some movement threes.
Hey, Bronny makes 12 points in a scrimmage, and all of a sudden he's the first pick of the second round.
That's right. Tejan Selon from ESPN is a projected top 15 pick, so he might be around. He might be around if he drops.
I just want you to say his name.
I want to too.
It's so good.
And I love this, Chris. So this is from NBA on ESPN. This is hilarious to me. So Jonathan Gavoni, who does great work, don't get me wrong,
work.
But it's just funny to me how you change, not Jonathan specifically, but how everybody changes based on who you want or who this person is. So Bronny, for example, Chris, we have to listen to John Morant talk about how he's better than Michael Jordan because it's Mamba mentality. You're supposed to believe you're the best, right? So now Jonathan Gavoni, who does, a lot of draft stuff for ESPN, now he's saying that people love Bronny's attitude, his enthusiasm, the way he understands what type of player that he is. So basically, since Bronny said, at best, I'm Derek White, Drew Holiday, or even a Davion Mitchell, now all of a sudden it's not Mamba mentality. Now it's he understands who he is.
Yeah, I mean, that's spin for sure. I don't even think it's bad. Like we just talked about it with Kyle Kuzma. Like there is a beauty in knowing who you are, and I understand, especially when you're taking a second round pick. You don't want that guy to come in and think he's Brandon Podziemski out here thinking he's going to take over the franchise.
What I guess, hey, I guess maybe it's I can be that within the player that I am. That's not to say I'm not a dog or I will be the best Drew Holiday type that I can be. You see what I'm saying, though?
Yeah, I mean, it's just that there's one LeBron. Actually, I can't use. There's one Steph Curry out on the floor, and everybody else has to fall into their role. And so it's just good to know in this pool of 60 people, knowing the ones that have at least a semblance of reality of what the situation is, I think is a positive because you'll walk into guys who, maybe, like just to use him as an example, like Jalen Slauson went to Fulham.
Right.
He was probably the guy at Fulham. And so he's coming into the league, not thinking about, what role player can I be? He's coming in thinking, okay, how can I use all of my skills, all of my traits to be the best NBA player possible, and not really having an end goal in mind, just thinking I'm going to do what I can. And hopefully that's enough. At least with Bronny, I guess and this is me trying to find the logic. I would just think it's, hey, this guy at the very least will know, okay, he's coming in and he's going to be a defender day one because he understands day one. He's not going to be trying to show us, I actually have a handle. I actually have a jump shot. He is going to come in understanding, no, the way that I'm going to get playing time is by doing these specific things. And then everything else will come after that.
Like, it reminds me of Major League Willie Mays Hayes when he keeps on trying to hit home runs. And he's a leadoff guy. And they said, hey, man, just hit the ball on the ground. Yeah. And he keeps hitting the ball to the warning track. And I think they made him do, what did they make him do? Push-ups? I should have waited for Whitey for that. Whitey would have known.
I've not seen Major League.
What? Any of them?
No. I haven't seen anything. I was doing the thing where you always say you do it, where you're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you were doing it with a smirk. You didn't sell it.
Because I was trying to tell you I don't know what you're talking about.
How does it feel? How does it feel, Mr. Styles?
No, because I never break character. Chris broke character.
So I didn't lie to him is what he's upset at.
That's right.
He's upset.
No, I'm not upset.
The fourth wall.
No, I'm not upset. I'm saying that wasn't the Allen special.
No.
The Allen special is,
Oh, no, I could never.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I'm not lying. I'm talking about Tejan Salon. I'm telling you, man. I'm in.
3 minutes and he's sold.
I saw one highlight. Literally. It's still running in the background. By the way,
it's fun.
Chris, we were sitting at and this is pretty funny, just to peel back the curtain on who Chris and I are. This is pretty funny because we both have things that bug us, right? Yeah. Simone, I want to know where you fall on this list. And texters, Sack Chat, let us know where you fall on this. So we're sitting at the Kings game. This is a couple months ago. And I showed Chris something on my computer. And I brought it up because of the highlights. And I have 1,000 tabs open. I have 1,000 windows open. And Chris is just saying, this gives me anxiety.
So much anxiety.
Chris is saying, dude, what is wrong with you?
Your computer, your poor computer.
Yeah, you have too many tabs open. But then I go to Chris, and he's got 75 text messages. Yeah. Which bugs the heck out of me. Yeah. I can't sit there with all the text. I got to clear it out.
You don't even want to see my emails.
It's weird to me that the tabs bug you, but the texts don't bug you. I guess I'm the opposite, though.
I mean, the tabs only bothered me because I remember working at a desk job here and just having all of those tabs open. And it's like the feeling of, just chaos. You're just like, oh my gosh, this is almost symbolic. Brother, like, what is going on?
How many does he have?
That's like no
Paint
joke.
Picture.
One, it's
Oh,
it's at
all of
least
those
20.
little
Yes,
dots?
all those up
Oh
there
my
are
goodness.
whole tabs.
What's the problem?
It just makes me feel like it just gives me like a little peek into where your brain's at, and it's
One
just
of the tabs.
you exactly
Salon.
because it's just you click any of them and it's a box of chocolates. It's just what's going to be on this? Remember the other day you were like, I have 3 tabs open.
Yeah.
One is like
One's incognito.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just mean,
I have 2 incognito, 1 non-incognito.
Okay.
you really got to tell on yourself. I was just going to say, like, one of them was like how to make creme brulee. One of them was DeJounte Murray's contract. And
That's
then
right.
the third was, how to properly pickle a cucumber or something like that.
There are a lot of tools we could be utilizing to save. Do you use bookmarks? You should be bookmarking things to not
I
have
do
as many
bookmark.
tabs.
I do bookmark.
It just seems like when you have that many tabs open, you're losing out on maybe some productivity.
There needs
how
to be a
can you
sense of like
find anything
completion,
efficiently.
Closing the tab
No,
is like
I don't know.
I'm done with that portion. Like, I'll look things up on my computer throughout the show, but then once that segment's done, I'm like, cool, closing that.
Yep.
Because I don't have to deal with
I
that.
also
anymore.
have up, so I was going to say this earlier in the show, but so I didn't know that Jokic had a shoe deal with
I definitely didn't. I saw
361. Yeah. So
He
so I
released, like,
see
SpongeBob
Yeah, he
exclusives.
released SpongeBob versions of his shoe. So then I realized that he has a shoe. So then I got to Google the shoe. So now I have the Twitter tab open
Right.
with the original SpongeBob. Then I have to Google what the shoe is, and then I have the actual website with the shoe.
And then you were
That's a
like,
different window from the other window that you are already
That's right,
utilizing. Okay.
and that's not including the window of Alan thinking, was Jokic even born when SpongeBob was on? And then looking up
right.
Jokic's
does
birthday,
he
and
like
then in another
SpongeBob?
tab, looking up when did SpongeBob debut?
Mm-hmm.
And this is how it spirals. And it just stressed me out. But I will admit, the messages on my phone are a little. I have 140 texts right now. The emails is the problem.
140.
How are you guys so popular?
13,000 emails.
I have one.
I think that's
and
why
that's
Chris
from a
does
group
it.
chat.
It's just group chats, mostly it's group chats.
Wow,
This honestly,
popular.
you want to know again a little insight into who we are.
Mm-hmm.
This all actually started. I used to be very on my text so that it was always zeroed out. This all started on my birthday because tons of people texted me. Not, but people texted me, and then I was like, ugh. And people texted me, and I was like, don't have time to get back to this right now. I don't want to put it on red.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just push it to tomorrow, and then I'll respond. And then I didn't respond the day after, and then it became like 4 days after my birthday, and I was like, well, now I'm not going to go back and say thanks for wishing me happy
really
birthday.
Bad. This
and
is
so it
really
just
bad. We're
spiraled,
going
and
to
now
work
I
on
have
a
140.
lot of
It's
things
so
during
bad.
the summer. That's
408
terrible.
says you both are wild, need to clear that stuff out, but also says text is worse though.
And we have calls coming in now too. This is terrible.
Hey.
And I know Whitey's going to
And
have
I
an insightful perspective on this as well.
I got to clear out the call, like a voicemail.
It usually drives me crazy. I don't know. I guess it's just once it's there, it's just you already.
The tabs
admit
used to
defeat.
drive me crazy.
Yeah.
And then they stopped, and now it's
This gives
too
me
far
like
gone.
PTSD. Almost.
Yeah. So Simone, you clear both out.
Yes.
Okay.
And my email is organized, so I have things going into different files, so I can go reference things quickly and efficiently. You guys are taking my breath away right now. With
Well, Whitey will continue to do the same when he joins us in Crosstalk from the Drive Guys, Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
This time of year can mean only one thing. Jeeps, Jeeps, and more Jeeps. It's Jeep season at Lodi Jeep Superstore. Leonard Harrington here, and I can't wait to tell you about what we've got going on. Because we're talking Jeeps and big savings too. Now you can get the 2024 Jeep Compass Sport 4x4 for only $26,999. That's right, just $26,999. And of course, it comes loaded with features like rear view camera, power tailgate, blind spot monitor, Bluetooth, 4-wheel drive, and much, much more for only $26,999.
More than 5 available with this offer. MSRP $27,495. Lodi CDJR discount $496 equals a sales price of $26,999. See dealer for details. Offer ends 5/31/24.
We're talking Jeeps. We're talking big savings too. During the Jeep season, going on now at the Lodi Jeep Superstore, right off 99 in Kettleman, where we're open till 9 every night and Sundays after church.
Prices are better at the Low Price Center. Lodi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Visit us at LodiCDJR.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
In a world where everybody and their mother makes a primed trim board, contractors have to ask one question. Do I know what's under the primer? Available at just about every lumber yard you can imagine. Vintage trim boards are made from lodgepole pine. That's the stuff telephone poles and railroad ties are made of. It's durable. It's straight. It's been doing the job for generations. Manufactured right here in the USA. Ask for it by name. VintageTrimboards.com.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sponsored by Xfinity. Enjoy the entertainment you love with the Xfinity Stream app. Turn any screen into a TV and take the entertainment you love wherever you go. Xfinity, we connect you to more of what you love.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
From the 707 to incognito tabs is crazy. You don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
I don't even want to know.
No, I just, you know what? It started.
I can guess.
No. All right. It started at my other job, right? Because, I don't know, it's a work computer. And I just got on the...
You're not helping yourself out here.
yourself.
No, if I'm job searching or something, I was
like, yeah, you might want
freaked
to
out that they would be checking. So I went incognito and I never went back. Which is annoying because you can't see your history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the whole thing with
incognito
mode. I would use it just so I mean, if you're pressed for space on your laptop or something, it's good to not save those cookies.
I just was showing Whitey Gleason, who has joined us. I was just showing him Tejan Salon, and Whitey is on the Salon train.
Yeah, it sounded like it. It really sounded like it.
No, that's really not true. He plays in the mustard league. French is against Dijon. It's like, I mean, that's
okay.
He can't guard anybody. I don't think he's too young for me. He's too young to help me right now, Alan. I look at my window
the
here.
Defensive highlights. This means he can play defense. There's a whole segment.
That was the highlight. I don't know. I think I need somebody who's a little more ready. I'm not against him. He's going to be a good player. A lot of good players, but I need somebody who's a little more ready to help me now. I don't have time for your little mustard projects, okay?
All right, fine. Well,
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
All right, well, there's Dalton Connect as well, and that's my other guy. I have a whole list. You better be ready because we're going to have lists.
Man.
And I'm going to love all of them.
Don't like any black guys, huh? I see how Alan's
Whoa!
Wow, okay.
I think Tejan. It's only two guys.
Man, all right.
I'm pretty sure Tejan.
How about Lauri Markkanen? Trade for him, huh, Alan? Wow.
I don't know
I'd
what
like
to say to this.
Markkanen would be nice.
I don't know what to
I'm
say
a
to
fan
this.
of Lauri
Well,
Markkanen.
I really don't know how to transition. I tried. Normally, I'm pretty good. That one.
Dang.
That one had me. That one had me good. Whitey, do you think it's fair or foul, no pun intended, that teams that the A's might move off of Mason Miller?
They have to trade him.
They have to.
You have to trade him.
Interesting too, because we spoke with Martin Gallegos this week?
That was last week.
That was last. Okay. Now we have conflicting reports. We spoke with him recently.
Monday. It was Monday.
And he was pretty dismissive of the fact when I asked him, like, hey, like, there's a bunch of reports, seemed very dismissive, but all of the reports seem to be trending towards
you have
Mason
to trade
Miller. I would think so, right? I mean,
it better
what's
be
their
a
goal?
huge offer.
Well, yeah, at the deadline, somebody looking for a closer. The A's don't need a closer. They're not that good.
They're not going to be in many closing situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they definitely won't if they lose their closer.
No, they should be in the same
be
number
in
of situations. They just wouldn't
They
convert
won't
them.
clo-
They'd have the same number.
What's your deal today, Whitey? Why are you coming at me? First,
I'm just pointing out that what you said is not actually true.
Just because I like Tejan.
Uh-huh.
All right. Do you have a draft guy yet?
I bet you like that Zach Edey, huh?
Oof.
I think he's underrated. Or go clinging.
I'm not surprised.
Or go clinging.
Yeah. Man. Why am I not surprised?
Just go clinging. This is ridiculous.
How about Reed Shepard, huh?
Big vertical. Big vertical.
Starting.
I was surprised.
He's starting to turn some heads.
Interesting.
I can't believe this.
I guess just the general 13th pick. Like, are you looking to? I mean, you said you want somebody who's a little more ready now. Like, do you think it's just kind of a universal? Like, you should look to trade that pick, and if nothing materializes, make the pick, or should they do their due diligence, try and find somebody ready now and adjust if they don't find
What do you
somebody?
guys think of this? To me, the Kings still need more assets. And I know there's been a lot of talk of how they've stockpiled assets and draft picks, and that's all well and good. But then when you compare what they have to work with some of the other teams that they'll be competing with for some of these other players, like, whoa, other teams have a lot more. So to me, if you can draft somebody and develop them, that's a great cost-effective way of adding to your talent base. You don't have to give up anybody or anything to get him. And then if he comes in, so I don't know what they'll do. And maybe they package the pick. I heard you guys talking about it yesterday. To me, if there's a guy there that you like, or if you have a chance to trade up, I mean, I would draft somebody and keep them. And that doesn't mean that I can't still make a trade for somebody else, a bigger fish in theory. To me, the only guy that makes sense that they would reasonably be able to bring in that has any kind of name is Zach LaVine, because he's available.
Right.
And the Bulls want to get rid of him.
Right.
The other guys, like the Cavs guys, they're not tearing it down, right? I mean, they want talent back. So unless they're like, ooh, the Harrison Barnes, Kevin Huerter package, sign me up.
What did you make of the Cleveland? I don't even know what to call. It's a schism, I guess. I mean, they're talking about firing JB Bickerstaff. It sounds like Jared Allen is being questioned on whether he's healthy or not, or should have been able to play through the injury, get an injection, and play through it. You have your point guard saying he's not going to come back if your shooting guard is there. Is that?
I heard you talk about that.
Like, I mean, at the start of the show, we kind of presented it as like a cautionary tale for a team like the Kings that, success isn't everything. We always say winning cures all, but that's an example. And I used Milwaukee at the beginning of this season as an example of, sometimes winning doesn't cure all, and there still can be dysfunction in a winning situation. Not that it feels like the Kings are heading towards that direction, but what did you make of this Cleveland thing and the fact that, maybe winning doesn't cure all?
First of all, I'll bet you anything that if the Kings were in the market to get some Cavalier players, Allen would say, give me Dean Wade and Max Strus.
I want the Strus. They're nice, man. They're nice.
A lot of dysfunction there. It's funny because I heard you guys talking about it, like I said, and you were saying, I don't remember this happening before. The only thing I could think of was kind of Cavalier, like it reminded me of Kyrie saying, I want out.
Sure.
Now, he didn't say verbatim, as far as we know, that if LeBron's here, I want out, but he wanted out because LeBron was there, right?
Right.
That was the only thing I could think of, and that was also the Cavaliers. I just don't think Donovan Mitchell's good enough to ever be that guy on a team that's a championship team.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell him that.
Right.
He doesn't
He's a good
think
player.
so.
I know. And,
so.
He's a really good player.
Yeah.
And they've been talking about Bickerstaff. For years, they've been kind of wondering, all right, he's here because remember, it was John Beeline, right? He replaced?
Yeah.
Who was no clue.
I think he was there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So JB was like, well, he's better than this guy. But then it got to the point where, well, when we get good, maybe we'll get another coach. And it just seemed like they were never really satisfied with JB.
All right. You will have more of Whitey Gleason and Jay Johnson with the Drive Guys. Absolutely not. And Whitey will be watching more highlights of Tejan Salon. Thank you to Simone. Thank you to Brandon Nunes. Thank you to all the callers, texters, and sack chatters. Until tomorrow, secure the bag like the bean.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help.